It's Thursday, March 12th.
There's a bigger implication to it is
Saskatchewan gun owners can soon apply for a certificate of exemption to continue to store and possess lawfully owned but now prohibited firearms.
To present the opportunity in the defense and security sector to Saskatchewan companies and suppliers, but also get everybody thinking about long-term, what does the industry look like here in Saskatchewan and Western Canada altogether. There is a lot of opportunities. We have great capabilities in Saskatchewan, whether that's manufacturing or software, technology, consulting, engineering, all of it.
Some key players gathered in Saskatoon to discuss the role Saskatchewan can play in Canada's aerospace and defense sector.
1,800 miles from Music Road.
Saskatchewan country and western artist Coulter Wall taking a break indefinitely from touring and live shows. We'll tell you why. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. Good morning and happy Thursday.
How's your Thursday off to?
Not bad, actually. My kid slept. What about yours?
I went to navigate a door frame and I kicked it and I think I broke one of my toes. So I'm under the desk with one shoe on, one shoe off.
That's true. I can confirm he's in a sock. Yeah. He's in one sock right now.
I'm trying to figure out if I broke it or just really bruised.
People are at home are going to have to know now when you're listening, they're listening to you read the news that you're wearing a sock.
There you go. Just it's got skunks and hearts on it. There you go. You enjoyed that mental image and your breakfast. Let's get to news. There are reports of more attacks on commercial ships in the Gulf. This is video of an oil tanker on fire you're about to see after it was hidden in the water off of Iraq. Two ships were attacked off the Iraqi coast. Iran has threatened attacks will push oil prices up to $200 a barrel. To help keep prices down, oil-rich nations have agreed to at least release 400 million barrels from its reserves. Canada is a part of that group.
Canada will do its part to contribute to the world's supply. That will bring prices down for Canadians. That will keep prices affordable for Canadians.
Despite news of reserves being released, tensions has pushed oil prices back up this morning. The price per barrel went past the $100 U.S. barrel mark before settling back down. Some key players gathered at Prairieland Park in Saskatoon to discuss the role Saskatchewan can play in Canada's aerospace and defense sector. Government leaders, members of the Canadian Air Force and Saskatchewan Defence were part of that forum. It comes on the heels of the federal government announcing a new defence industrial strategy that will see $470 billion in Canada's defence sector by 2035. The plan is to have 70% of contracts signed with Canadian companies. Local experts say Saskatchewan is already manufacturing items used in the defence sector and employs more than 29,000 people in the industry as of last year and should be recognized as being part of that national strategy.
To present the opportunity in the defense and security sector to Saskatchewan companies and suppliers, but also get everybody thinking about long-term, what does the industry look like here in Saskatchewan and Western Canada altogether. There is a lot of opportunities. We have great capabilities in Saskatchewan, whether that's manufacturing or software, technology, consulting, engineering, all of it.
The province estimates Saskatchewan's manufacturing contribution to defense sector reached $1 billion last year. Saskatchewan gun owners can soon apply for a certificate of exemption to continue storing and possessing lawfully owned but now prohibited firearms. It comes as the province continues to look for ways to work around the federal government's gun buyback program. Donovan Mace reports.
The government of Saskatchewan is further expanding its firearm legislation, pushing back on the federal buyback program.
Those firearms are going nowhere until the province assesses the actual value of them, not the depreciated value after they were deemed to be illegal.
Premier Moe, along with the provincial government, have long been in opposition of the buyback and policy changes which add more than 2,500 weapons to Canada's prohibited list. These new amendments to the Saskatchewan Firearms Act legislate exemptions for gun owners in possession of affected firearms to keep their guns until they receive what the province calls fair compensation from Ottawa.
You may be in violation of the law. And today what we're saying is here's an avenue for you to not be in violation of the law.
The province providing assurance those storing these prohibited guns legally can be exempt from prosecution for possession if certain steps are followed.
If you are storing it in an appropriate way, in a safe and secure way, and by doing that, you're doing that for the benefit of the province so that we don't have to do it on your behalf.
Exemptions do not cover other firearm-related offences, and all applications will be reviewed by the Saskatchewan Firearms Office. Now, CTV News has reached out to the federal government for a response, but has yet to receive one. Rural leaders and the province continue to advocate for the buyback to be suspended entirely.
Our producers aren't the ones that are committing the crimes, and they're not the ones that have possession of the military-style rifles. The act should be repealed.
No one is going to take the guns away in Saskatchewan, and I think largely you're going to see that across Canada.
Now, despite the province's opposition, the buyback program does continue on. Owners of prohibited firearms are required to declare their weapons by the end of the month in order to be eligible for compensation, and must dispose of or permanently deactivate their prohibited weapons by October 30th. Donovan May, CTV News, Regina.
Jeremy, yet another traffic delay for Saskatoon commuters. Tell us about this one.
Yeah, Daryl, another massive delay. It's becoming commonplace in our city. Yesterday afternoon, another overpass was hit by a too-tall load. The overpass on 108th Street over Circle Drive was hit yesterday around 5 p.m. Now, this semi hauling an excavator on a flatbed was seen parked on the side of the road near the overpass. City's last update said structural engineers were on the scene immediately and confirmed the overpass is safe for use. The northbound curb lane on Circle Drive was closed while debris was cleared, causing a kilometers-long traffic jam on Circle Drive near College. A flag symbolizing the opposition of the Iranian regime will not be flying outside of Saskatoon's City Hall. City councillors denied a request from the Saskatoon Iranian Cultural Association Wednesday to fly the lion and sun flag, which had been used since the 16th century until the Iranian Islamic Revolution in 1979. Wanting to fly the flag in solidarity of Iranian people opposing the current regime, the request was denied from councillors looking to avoid geopolitical issues. The city altered its flag policy for the flagpoles at Civic Centre after complaints from Vietnamese people for flying that country's flag came to council in the fall. The Iranian Cultural Association says this does not interfere with the city's policy since the lion and sun flag hasn't belonged to any country for nearly 50 years.
Is not an existing flag of a country. It has not been the flag of Iran since 1979. It is now a cultural symbol. It holds a history of more than 1,000 years behind it.
City administration says they are applying the policy to include any flag associated with a nation. All right, Daryl, Regina Transit users can expect to pay a little more.
Fares are going up despite opposition from advocates. Jeremy, the 10% increase will take effect on April 1st after narrowly passing a split vote 6-5 yesterday. This after representatives from groups like Better Bus Youth said low-income earners, high school students and seniors were most likely to be hurt by it.
It is always kind of this double-edged sword of being able to see solidarity, being able to appreciate seeing city councillors recognize the need for transit and the need that people are expressing for this service. If the city councillors and people in positions of power can't recognize that, we will continue to see working class and everyday citizens in Regina go without, and that doesn't make me feel good. That's hard for people in the community like myself to swallow, just because we know people are burdened by so much already.
According to the city of Regina, about 9 million people took the bus in 2025, the highest annual total on record. A strong third period powered the Pats past Lethbridge.
On the way that one now, puck in front, they score!
Regina Pat scored 3 goals in the third period to beat the Hurricanes 4-2. Ellis Mayette had a goal and an assist for Regina. The win puts them 5 points up on Red Deer and Moose Jaw for 7th place in the WHL East. And the Moose Jaw Warriors are tied with the Red Deer Rebels now for that 8th and final playoff spot with 53 points. But the Rebels do hold the tiebreak, so Moose Jaw would be on the outside looking in if it all ended today. They did beat the Broncos 4-3 in a shootout last night. The Warriors have 4 games to go. The Rebels have 5, so the race is on. There's a section of Highway 1 that is closed this morning. There's packed snow, slushy snow out there. Conditions going to get better?
Well, we're talking about some snow down south really throughout the early part of the day. Of course, that started late last night. We're going to take a look at the radar in just a moment here. But again, southern Saskatchewan started seeing it late last night. It went through the night, still continuing to fall right now in some parts of the province. And we're going to continue seeing it until the early to mid-afternoon before that system does finally push away. So conditions are going to get worse before they get better. -4 right now to wake us up in Regina. We do have some cloud cover right now. Winds at 15 kilometers per hour to start the day. Those are very likely to be increasing for your afternoon. -12 in Saskatoon. Again, seeing some clouds right now to start the day and winds coming in at 19 kilometers per hour. Let's turn our attention to this radar and satellite. It is a rather large system that made its way in about 8 p.m. last night. If you want to know what it's like currently, this is what we're looking at out there. So we're still seeing it right around Swift Current, around East End. It is beginning to track eastward. So Estevan, it's not going to be long before you're going to be seeing some of those flakes up in the sky. Into the early part of the afternoon, this is at about 1 p.m. We do start to see it mainly going into the United States. And then by about 6 p.m. here, most of the province looking clear. Just that one little spot there in the southwest corner of the province, still seeing just a little bit of those flurries. How much snow by the end of the day? Well, these numbers have gone down even in the past few minutes. So Swift Current still expecting about 3 more centimeters of snow. Moose Jaw about 1 centimeter. Estevan, you can expect about 5 centimeters of snow by the end of the day, and the Battlefords about 1 centimeter. The temperatures are dropping with that snow compared to yesterday. -1 for Swift Current, -2 for Moose Jaw, -1 for Weyburn, and 0 degrees for Estevan. -8 in Saskatoon this afternoon, -4 in Regina. Again, we're talking about winds going up, so we're going to be seeing just a few flakes, but it's going to be blowing snow. -4 in Yorkton, -7 in Prince Albert, and Regina, oh, there we, sorry folks, looks like we have to go back there. -4 today for Regina, -4 on Friday, -10 in Saskatoon, -12 on Sunday in Regina, -8 on Monday. In Saskatoon though, -10 tomorrow, -13 on Saturday, -11 on Sunday, and -7 on Monday. In case you missed it, a beloved burger shop in Bedford, Nova Scotia is celebrating a massive milestone.
We celebrate our birthday every year as one of the most fun parts of our year.
Chicken Burger is officially 86 years old, and earlier this week they celebrated by serving 86-cent cheeseburgers for the first 150 people in line. The party isn't over, though. They're also hosting a celebration on Sunday that includes cakes and games.
Great. So if you're in the area, stop by for a burger.
Exactly. Great.
Right?
Man, take $20 and eat for 2 weeks.
It's going to be hard to get 150 people out there the way that they're getting hammered with ice and snow right now.
I could just picture Jeremy buying 20 of those burgers and stocking them in tinfoil in his freezer.
When I used to work at McDonald's, there'd be 99-cent Big Mac days. This was, 30 years ago. But college kids would come in and literally buy 10 or 20, and that's all they would eat for the next 2 weeks.
That tracks. That tracks. Time for a question of the day. Day we like to prove there's a national day for everything.
Yeah, and today is National Plant a Flower Day, although it's not time for planting for a lot of those plants quite yet.
Not quite.
So I don't know who decided that today would be the national day for that, but we're asking you, what is your favorite flower or plant? Anything that you have to plant. Do you have one, Jeremy?
Oh, yeah. The world-renowned BA of flowers, so boss that it only blooms for 48 hours once every 7 years. The corpse flower.
That was coming.
I long to see one and smell one. It smells like rotting flesh.
Yeah,
grows 10 feet tall. Man, someday.
That really makes my Gerber daisy sound dainty, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Next to the corpse flower.
Plant and the Gerber daisy.
Sure.
All right.
Okay.
For me, it's any plant or tree that smells good. I like eucalyptus. I like lavender. Things like that.
Very
I like the nice
yes.
smelling ones. But we want to hear from you. Text your name and your answer to 10400. Standard message rates may apply, of course, or you can scan that QR code on your screen. Before we go to break, let's take a live look over the city of Regina.
The International Energy Agency is warning that the ongoing conflict in the Middle East has led to the largest supply disruption in the history of the global oil market. This, according to an IEA report released on Thursday. It adds Gulf countries have reduced their oil production by at least 10 million barrels per day, and global oil supply is estimated to be declining by 8 million barrels per day throughout the month of March. The crisis has also affected global product markets, particularly exports going through the Strait of Hormuz. And that crunch is being felt around the world. On Wednesday, in an interview with Danish media, Denmark's energy minister urged citizens of the Scandinavian country to cut back on energy use and ditch cars. Lars Agard said what the Danes should please do is that if there's any energy consumption that you can do without, if it is not strictly necessary to drive the car, then don't do it. The translation was provided by Google. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
Well, St. Patrick's Day, not till Tuesday, but our Mike Siona could not wait, trying to drum up the luck of the Irish this morning. Right, Mike?
Yes, I certainly did. I could barely hear you because we have not just the luck of the Irish, but the feet of the Irish dancing here this morning. I'm joined by Katie Blakeney, and we're talking about St. Patrick's Day early because the festivities really do begin this weekend.
They do, yes. We're kicking off everything on Saturday. We're hitting all the bars downtown. We're hitting Haynes Mile. We're hitting O'Shea's, Winston's, Capitol. On Tuesday, we've got kind of everything going on.
Fantastic. And obviously, we've got some tremendous dancing, really a showcase of culture. Talk to me how important it is and how cool it is to be able to, have St. Patrick's Day, this celebration of Irish culture.
Yeah, it's fantastic to just bring everybody together and do the dancing. We're dancing at schools. We're dancing at long-term care homes, bars. We're trying to bring it to everybody so it's accessible, and it brings everybody so much joy.
No doubt about it. Now, St. Patrick's Day itself, how is it celebrated here in Canada and in Saskatchewan specifically?
It's a little bit different than in Ireland. It's because in Ireland you basically take the whole day off on Tuesday and you dance and you go to the pubs and whatnot. So we're kind of breaking it up a little bit. We're doing a bit of a warm-up St. Patrick's Day on the Saturday, so everyone can do their pub crawls on the weekend like they like to, and then we still have all day Tuesday for those who like to do the traditional St. Patrick's Day.
Fantastic. I love it. And of course, we've got some tremendous dancers here. We'll be talking about them a little bit more as the morning wears on. But your dance schools, two of them coming together.
Yes, they did. Yes, we've merged Blakey and River City Irish Dance together. We just wanted to be more of a community, less apart and more together, have more resources and more space.
I love that. All right. Well, we will continue to talk about St. Patrick's Day. We'll set up all of the events. There's some fundraising initiatives going on as well tied to all of this. And, of course, a celebration of all things Irish this morning ahead of the celebration of all things Irish on Tuesday.
So many wonderful traditions coming together. Mike, we look forward to seeing more throughout the morning.
Your school day forecast is brought to you by CAA School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zone safe. If you're heading out to catch the bus in Regina, we're at -4 right now. We do have the potential of seeing a few flakes in the air, but they haven't started falling quite yet. -12 in Saskatoon with a mix of sun and clouds starting your day. By lunchtime in Regina, -5, -9 by lunchtime in Saskatoon. Not expecting to see any of those flurries in the central zone today. It's mainly down towards the south. Final bell, -4 once again for Regina. The wind's going going up. Could be seeing those gusts up to 50 kilometers per hour. And by final bell in Saskatoon, -8 with that mix of sun and cloud. Winds coming in up to about 30 kilometers per hour. As we go to break, here's a look at those gas prices in Regina. The common price, $149.9. You might find it for as low as $129.9. In Saskatoon, the common price, $150.9, and you might find it for as low as $139.9. In the farm markets this morning, we find the street price of canola at $662.33 per ton. The futures price at $733.30 per ton. Amber Durum wheat now at $278.59 per ton, and red spring wheat $269.60 per ton. The Canadian dollar trading down slightly this morning at 73.60 cents US. Major renovations are taking flight at Saskatoon's airport. The details when we come back.
6:30, welcome to Your Morning. 2 First Nations chiefs from Alberta have taken their concerns to the King in a rare and private meeting at Buckingham Palace.
The province does not care about the treaties or the Crown. Then he said, oh, really, again. He didn't like that. The treaty is law, and it's part of the Constitution. It cannot be broken, and it supersedes any legislation.
The visit by chiefs from Alberta and Saskatchewan was aimed at highlighting the relationship between First Nations and the Crown. But 2 Alberta chiefs in the group also raised concerns about the province's separatist movement. Grand Council Chief Joey Pete said the meeting reaffirmed the treaty relationship with the Crown and that the King expressed his concerns over the separatist movement. For months, Alberta separation groups have been collecting signatures in a citizen-led petition. Indigenous leaders have filed court challenges against that petition, urging the province to denounce the movement. Federally, the Parliament Hill is reacting to the latest MP to cross the floor to the Liberals.
There are a variety of many things that have allowed me to really reflect on this, and I'm very thankful to be so warmly welcomed.
Nunavut MP Lori Idloud was cheered by fellow members of the Liberal caucus after her defection from the NDP. Her move leaves the New Democrats with just 6 seats in the House. Interim leader Don Davies says anyone who crosses the floor should face a by-election.
Whether or not there's a majority government is fundamentally a decision of the Canadian people at the ballot box. And it should happen that way, not through backroom deals.
Speaking of by-elections, there are 3 of them coming up next month. Winning 2 out of the 3 would give the Liberals a majority. A busy day ahead for the Prime Minister as he travels to Yellowknife and then Norway later today. Mark Carney is expected to announce a new plan to defend and transform Canada's northern and Arctic region this afternoon. He's then scheduled to meet with Northwest Territories Premier before heading back to the airport to fly to Norway. While he's there, he's set to participate in a NATO exercise called Cold Response. He will also take part in the Nordic Canada Council Summit. He will also be in a bilateral meeting with the UK Prime Minister in London. The Prime Minister's office says Carney will then remain in Europe for personal commitments. Busy fella. The White House is beginning a new process to figure out how to replace tariffs struck down by the U.S. Supreme Court. They're opening 2 new trade investigations into manufacturing in foreign countries. Their previous sweeping tariffs were applied by declaring an economic emergency. The U.S. President and his team have made it clear they're trying to replace the hundreds of billions of dollars lost in revenues after the Supreme Court's February ruling. This Section 301 unfair trade practices investigation could lead to new tariffs imposed against countries including Canada, China, the EU, India, Japan, South Korea, and Mexico by this summer. A Saskatoon synagogue is planning to rebuild its cemetery maintenance shop after it was destroyed by fire. Only rubble is left of the cemetery maintenance shop, as you can see on your screen. Lawnmowers, snow blowers, and other tools needed for maintenance on the grounds is gone. On January 21st, the Saskatoon Fire Department responded to a fire at Saskatoon's only dedicated Jewish cemetery, located on the outskirts of Saskatoon, west of the airport. Replacing the building and equipment is expected to cost about $150,000, with insurance only partially covering.
Being a Jewish community, I know a lot of the people in the community thought was just deliberate, was just an act of anti-Semitism. The adjusters from the insurance company that came out that did the inspection are certain that it wasn't deliberate, which is in some respects good news. It started inside. They're not 100% certain how, but maybe an electric heater or something of that nature.
The cemetery has served the Saskatoon Jewish community for more than 100 years. Travelers can expect some changes at Saskatoon Airport in the coming months. The Saskatoon Airport Authority, YXE, says it's in the final stages of a $12 million renovation to its arrivals area. Construction is tentatively set to begin in June, with work happening in phases over the next 18 to 24 months. The redesigned space will feature a prairie-themed look. It's offering up to 60 acres of land for industrial development along the airport's south perimeter on Claypool Drive as well.
So what a lot of airports and business have done, have learned from the pandemic event, attempting to diversify our revenue away from that element to give us greater certainty and stability moving forward.
The site would be available for industrial development through a long-term land lease extending to 2079. If you are planning to book a flight in the next few weeks, you may see a noticeable price hike due to the conflict in the Middle East. It's having an impact on jet fuel. Industry analysts say that you should brace for a significant fare increase in the coming months. If jet fuel prices remain high, an international flight could increase by $100 to $200 one way. It's uncertain how domestic flights will be impacted. They're already expensive. That's my biggest pet peeve in life right now. The worst may be over for parts of Ontario and Quebec. Strong winds and freezing rain will make for hazardous conditions this morning.
And then I decided to look for salt. So they're running out of salt. It's like toilet paper at the beginning of COVID. No more.
Overnight, it's been cold with windy and freezing rain conditions in Quebec. There are more likely to be more transportation delays and cancellations this morning. 180,000 customers without power across Quebec.
It's early, but it does appear that it's likely related to the weather. And, you know, when you get into these extreme weather events with the rain, you know, it's a challenge, you know, for overhead catenary systems like we have here.
In Ottawa, the city's light rail service was no match for the freezing rain. The service was brought to a halt midday after overhead wires were damaged. You saw that and snapped. Many passengers were delayed before eventually being put on buses. Saskatchewan country western artist Coulter Wall taking an indefinite break from touring and live shows.
1,800 miles from Music Road.
Her songwriter said on social media he is mentally unwell, and touring has only pushed his mental health into further decline. Wall had 4 remaining stops on his U.S. tour promoting his latest album, Memories and Empties. All of those shows have been canceled, with tickets being refunded. Canada is into the quarterfinals of the World Baseball Classic for the first time ever.
He's also walked a couple of times, and he crushes this one deep to right. Abraham Toro doubles the lead for Canada.
Only 17 people in the stands to see it. Canada jumped on Cuba early and kept pounding, winning 7-2. This is an historic win. Canada has never reached the quarterfinals of the WCB until now. After round-robin play, Canada finished atop Pool A. That earns them a tough showdown in the quarterfinals against the Americans. Tomorrow night, first pitch is 6 o'clock. Kayleen, we talked about conditions in eastern Canada. Now let's talk about our road conditions, because boy, oh boy, let's take a look at the highway hotline here. Highway 1 is closed. A lot of travel not recommended. That's a big stretch. Every time we drive to Alberta, because you and I both have family there, that's the section that sucks, right?
It is, yeah. There's no other way to say it.
It's never good.
It's never, ever good. Last time I was driving on it, it was travel not recommended. Now, of course, we're seeing that blue there, the travel not recommended, the red, the closures, and of course, the pink, all those colored roads. And I can show you why as we turn our attention here to the radar and satellite. The southwest corner of the province started getting some of those flurries late last night. It continued on through the evening hours, did not let up. It's even still right around there. This is current what you're looking at on your screen. So mainly it is that purple color with those flurries that we're seeing down south this morning. We're also seeing right along the border with the United States that freezing rain and just the regular rain. So roads out there not ideal to start your day. Definitely keep up with that highway hotline if you are heading out today. By about 1:30 p.m. we see it trying to push off into the United States, making its way south. However, Estevan still going to be seeing some of those flurries. into the later parts of the afternoon, this is at about 6:15, we're mainly seeing a lot of cloud cover in the province, but we are still seeing just a few little spots there south of Swift Current with some of those flurries. Current temperatures now showing that we do see an improvement up north this morning. -27 in Stony Rapids, -12 in South End, -8 for Melfort, Nipawin, Hudson Bay to start the day. Down in the south, not so bad. -1 in East End, -1 in Swift Current, -1 in Assiniboia. But again, this is all just the temperature that we're talking about. This isn't factoring in the winds that are going to be going up slightly into the afternoon hours, and of course the snow that we just mentioned. So that snow is going to be blowing with those winds. Today's forecast into the afternoon showing -1 for Swift Current, -1 for Weyburn, 1 degree for Estevan, and -4 for Yorkton with that cloud cover, -7 in Prince Albert, and -8 expected for Saskatoon and the Battlefords. Regina not expecting a large accumulation of snow. We're just going to be right on the cusp of that system, so we could be seeing just a few flakes, and those flakes will be blowing again because the winds are going to be going up this afternoon. Estevan could be seeing those surpassing 50 kilometers per hour. Regina, that's where we could be peaking with those winds, is about 50 kilometers per hour. Similar conditions in Swift Current, so again, it's going to be blowing snow. Not the best day for hitting those highways. -4 tomorrow in Regina, -10 on Saturday, -12 on Sunday, so we are getting cooler for the weekend. -8 on Monday. In Saskatoon, dropping down to -10 tomorrow, -13 on Saturday with that cloud cover increasing once again, -11 on Sunday, and expecting -7 for Monday.
It remains a concerning trend. More adults younger than age 50 are being diagnosed with colorectal cancer, and early onset cases are expected to more than double in the next decade.
We have been really focused on trying to understand what causes colorectal cancer for a number of decades.
Dr. Shanaz Sultan with the University of Minnesota says the exact cause of the rise in cases is still unclear. Some factors that raise risk can't be changed, like genetics, age, and having certain medical conditions like inflammatory bowel syndrome. But there are other lifestyle choices that can increase chances of developing this type of cancer, including having obesity, little physical activity, smoking, excessive alcohol use, and a diet high in red meat and low in fiber, fruits, and veggies. Sultan says consuming a lot of ultra-processed foods is also emerging as a risk factor.
Food products that are industrially produced and processed, and they tend to be high in sugar, high in lipids, high in salt, and nutrient poor.
Sultan says these calorie-dense foods taste good and they're appealing, so we tend to overeat and overconsume them, increasing chances of developing obesity, which is one of the risk factors. Sultan says it's critical to read labels before buying food and focus on eating whole foods.
Home-cooked meals are an easy way to minimize the intake of ultra-processed foods, because you can control what ingredients you're putting into your food and what ingredients you're putting into your body.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Health Report, brought to you in part by SEIU West, Saskatchewan's first healthcare union.
For a long time, she terrorized goaltenders across Saskatchewan. Now she's taken her talents to Northeastern University. Strikers of Blocky was named Hockey East Player of the Year and Co-Rookie of the Year as the NCAA Women's Hockey Conference handed out their major awards. And we're lucky enough to have her down the line from Boston this morning. Striker, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
What does the award mean to you? The 2 awards, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm very honored, but I couldn't have done it without my team's support. From the coaches, players, right down to our athletic trainer and equipment managers. We just have every piece of a team that you would need, and I'm so grateful for their support.
What's the transition been like from playing here in Saskatchewan to a big city, lots more people, lots more fans, all that kind of stuff?
I mean, yeah, it's very different, obviously. A lot more fans, a lot more people coming out to watch. And honestly, just a different environment. It's a little bit different of hockey, a little faster paced, and just obviously a little different from playing the level of U18 AAA in Sask.
What have you learned about yourself through this process?
I think I've learned that I just like starting new experiences. Like, this is something completely out of my comfort zone, and I've really loved it so far, and I'm so so happy to be here with this special team. And yeah, it's just super exciting.
Right the first time. You are special. What do you want to be when you grow up? What made that program the right fit for you?
I want to be a hockey player. I eventually hope to play in the PWHL. And so I'm hoping that this program will be able to help and develop me and get my skills up to the level that they need to be to play in that league.
You made this decision very early on in your hockey career. I think you were 15, you said, when you committed to Northeastern. Why that school and why that decision so young?
I wanted to be in a big city, and Boston was ultimately the place for that. The coaches here were super inviting, and I knew that they would take pride in my development just as I wanted them to. And I love the girls here and just love the campus, and ended up choosing it, and it felt like the right fit for me.
What about hockey here in Saskatchewan prepared you for this?
Yeah, I mean, growing up in Prince Albert, there's a lot of support. I played boys hockey growing up, and everyone supported me along the way. And Saskatchewan just has a super good community of hockey. And so I think that helped me a lot growing up.
All right, so there's going to be some young girls here. I have a daughter that's going to start hockey in a couple of years, and they're going to look up to players like you that they know came through this system and went to wherever they wanted to accomplish their dreams. So what do you say to those young ladies who are also chasing the dreams that you're right now pursuing?
Yeah, I think I would just say dream big. You know, like, you start as a little kid and you don't think that you can do these things, but if you just dream big, put in the extra work, work hard, especially during practice, and all your extra workouts, shooting pucks, stuff like that, it really helps you, and it does go a long way for you in the end.
Well, Striker, congratulations. Good luck to you and your team the rest of the way, and I know you got a long journey ahead of you.
Thank you very much.
Hi, everyone. Mark Rowe inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Wednesday in Fort. We head to Indian Wells. Carlos Alcaraz showing off the hands. Doesn't even let the ball drop before hitting the perfectly placed lob. An unreal shot by the world #1 as he dispatched Casper Ruud in straight sets to advance to the quarterfinals. That is your must-see moment from Wednesday. Tonight on TSN, a pair of hockey games. The Leafs taking on the Ducks on TSN 4 for viewers in the Leafs region. And those in the Jets region can catch Winnipeg host the Rangers on TSN 3. That's all from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
March 12th, and we have these milestones to share with you. We'll start off with a big happy birthday going out to Mary. Much love coming your way from all of your kids and grandkids. We hope you have a wonderful day. Also celebrating is Stephen. Happy birthday to you. We hope this is your best birthday yet. Enjoy your special day. Happy 5th birthday to Sylvie. We hope your day is amazing. Lots of love from your Auntie Carly, Uncle Travis, and Aubrey. Turning 14 years old today is Carson. Happy birthday to you. Have the best year yet. Lots of love from your mom, Jason, and Lexi. Turning 50 years old today is Mike. A lot of love coming your way from all of your family and friends. Have a wonderful birthday. Also celebrating is Jude. Happy birthday to you, with love from your Auntie Lori and Eric. And happy birthday also going out to Riley. We hope you have an amazing day celebrating your sweet 16th birthday. Lots of love from your dad, Christy, Taylor, Charlotte, and Cohen.
Milestones, brought to you by Harbor Landing Village, an award-winning senior care and living community in Regina.
If you have a milestone coming up, send us an email to yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca or simply scan that QR code on your screen. Please send those in at least one day in advance.
Tell us about the splendor, the glory that is radio.
The glory that is radio. We're getting some good stories here today. This was actually from the Bobby Bones show. Lunchbox was talking about how he went on vacation and decided to buy a bunch of vacation shirts keep the tags on, keep the receipts, and just took them all back afterwards. So we're asking, have you done something similar to this? You can text over 54321. We're not here to judge. We're just here to share here today. We actually got one text. This guy was bold. He said he found one store that had a very loose return policy, like 3 months, and you could take anything back. Did that with a camera on vacation. Took all of his photos, took the camera back. Did that over the summertime with a pool. Enjoyed it for a couple months, took it back. No questions asked. This kind of smart, a little devious there, but share your story today.
The store across the street from this station that seems to have a pretty loose return policy from what I've seen. Thanks, Chase.
We're going on a shopping spree after this.
A U of S student is helping others on campus strike a happier note. As Carla Shinkaruk tells us, a daily ukulele performance in the tunnels has become music to students' ears.
If you've walked through the lower U of S hallways just outside the Arts Tunnel around midday, there's a good chance you've heard this. Stefan Gerard, known by many as the ukulele guy, plays here most days, filling the hallway with music as students pass by.
I would hope that there's a sense of positivity, that people walk away from these 5-second snippets where they walk past the column and they hear a random song.
Gerard says playing here started as a personal outlet while he works towards his degrees, now onto his master's in philosophy. But over time, he realized the music is doing more than just helping him.
There's a chance at connection. I think that that's extraordinarily important.
And for many students walking through the tunnels, the music has become a welcomed part of their day.
It's a little pick-me-up because there's not music playing around campus anywhere, really. So you come down here and it's a nice little boost to your day.
Gerard says he doesn't want to get into anyone's way, just add a little something positive.
You could be having a terrible day. You come out of a class and you're like rushing and it just makes you stop and appreciate.
He also plays piano but likes the convenience of the ukulele.
When this is strapped to your backpack and you think, okay, I'm waiting around here doing nothing, you can just pick it up, and it's there.
The location where he plays each day for about 90 minutes was chosen very intentionally. These acoustics help the sound carry, turning a simple practice session into a small performance for anyone walking by. He's been playing regularly here since after the pandemic, and he enjoys having other musicians join in with drums, a banjo, and another ukulele, helping him strike a chord with the campus community. Carla Shinkaruk, CTV News, Saskatoon.
All right, let's start things off with what sounds like different singers all sang at the same time.
My life is brilliant. My life is pure. I saw an angel. Oh, that I'm sure.
A lot of these before. Musician Justin Moore this time showing his talent to singing one song, but as different artists.
I mean, that James Blunt, he kind of nailed that one.
Pretty good. Pretty good. Does go on through. He gets a lot of views on these videos.
Well, I would imagine so. Yeah. Oh, the groan tube. Whoa. All right, here's another one for you. We know that the kids say the darndest things, but stressed out parents, they also say some wild things.
Stop spitting at each other, or I'm going to glue your mouth shut and tell Santa Claus to never come to our house again.
I'm coming in.
Guys, stop kicking each other, or I'm going to cut your feet off and throw them in the river.
Coming in.
This is Tyler.
I've seen this guy, yeah.
He's a little unhinged. He gives just a couple of examples of the crazy things that parents say to their kids, and then immediately we regret them. This video has racked up over 5 million views, with many parents sharing their own examples of wacky threats.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. This guy has a lot of content, if you find his page.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of parenting things. I think he's got some young kids. Time out. We'll reset. We got an update on your road conditions as we take a look over the city of Saskatoon. Fill up your coffee. We're back in 2 minutes. It's Thursday, March 12th.
It was actually an amazing experience.
A group of First Nations chiefs from Alberta and Saskatchewan meet privately with the King, raising concerns over Alberta's separatist movement. An NDP MP's decision to cross the floor to the Liberals met with cheers while the opposition parties feel the sting.
So what a lot of airports and business have done have learned from the pandemic event, attempting to diversify our revenue away from that element to give us greater certainty and stability moving forward.
Travelers can expect some changes at Saskatoon Airport in the coming months. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. Thank you for starting your Thursday with us.
If you got to be on the highway this morning, you're heading to Alberta, or maybe you're in Maple Creek area, or you're heading towards Swift Current or Moose Jaw, that's not what you want to see first thing in the morning, Kayleen.
Yeah, you were saying if you're heading out there, I was just going to say don't.
Well, the areas in red, that's closed, and blue is, of course, travel not recommended. This from the highway hotline.
Pink
that
is
stretch,
covered, yeah.
That stretch between Tompkins and Herbert area, it's always ungood. That's my trademark word, ungood.
Yeah, you're not going to want to travel out on that Trans-Canada Highway today. If you're waking up with us really anywhere in southern Saskatchewan, you're going to be seeing some of those flurries today.
But that'll get better over time, right?
It'll get better.
It won't stay closed all day.
Yeah. I mean, we're seeing this system pushing away in the mid-afternoon.
Just might not be awesome. All right, let's get to our news for this part of the hour. We begin with the conflict in the Middle East and its impact on the prices you pay. Unrelenting attacks on shipping traffic by Iran has pushed oil back above $100 US a barrel. Dramatic new video shows 2 oil tankers on fire in the Persian Gulf, forcing Iraq to suspend oil operations. That's quite some video. Iran is escalating attacks on oil infrastructure across the Gulf. The regime is trying to inflict enough global economic pain to pressure the U.S. and Israel to stop their bombardment. Last night, the U.S. president promised to finish the job. In an attempt to keep oil prices down, oil-rich nations have agreed to release 400 million barrels from its reserves, Canada included, and is also working with its allies on energy exports. Some key players gathered at Prairieland Park in Saskatoon to discuss the role Saskatchewan can play in Canada's aerospace and defense sectors. Government leaders, members of the Canadian Air Force, and Saskatchewan Defence were part of that forum. Comes on the heels of that federal government deal with the new industrial defense strategy that will see $470 billion in Canada's defense sector by 2035. The plan is to have 70% of contracts signed with Canadian companies. Local experts say Saskatchewan is already manufacturing items used in defense and employs more than 29,000 people in the industry as of last year and should be recognized as such.
To present the opportunity in the defense and security sector to Saskatchewan companies and suppliers, but also get everybody thinking about long-term, what does the industry look like here in Saskatchewan and Western Canada altogether. There is a lot of opportunities. We have great capabilities in Saskatchewan, whether that's manufacturing or software, technology, consulting, engineering, all of it.
The province estimates Saskatchewan's manufacturing contribution to defense to be about $1 billion last year. Saskatchewan gun owners can soon apply for a certificate of exemption to continue storing and possessing lawfully owned but now prohibited firearms. The exemption is tied to the federal compensation under a buyback program that follows a change in laws banning more guns. According to the province, this will prevent affected gun owners from facing criminal charges over possession, but does not clear other firearm-related offenses. Applications will be reviewed by the Saskatchewan Firearms Office for eligibility and accepted if several requirements are met. The province says the exemptions will remain in effect until the gun owner is fairly compensated for their affected guns.
They have to provide fair market value, and until they do, you can continue to store your own firearm if you are storing it in an appropriate way, in a safe and secure way, and by doing that, you're doing that for the benefit of the province so that we don't have to do it on your behalf. And that's where the exemption under Section 117 of the Criminal Code comes in.
Read more on our website. Let's get to Saskatoon, where the city is rejecting flying a certain flag. Jeremy Dodge.
Yeah, Daryl, it's a flag symbolizing opposition to Iran, and it will not be flying outside of City Hall because the city doesn't want to delve into far-reaching political matters. Keenan Sorokon has more.
City councillors denied a request from the Saskatoon Iranian Cultural Association to fly the lion and sun flag, historically used as Iran's flag prior to the 1979 Islamic Revolution, a symbol now used in opposition of the current government.
I want to make the case that this specific request is different and that the bylaw as currently applied goes further than it intends to.
Puyan Arab wanted to fly the lion and sun flag on March 21st to commemorate the Persian New Year. 2 days later, the city wrote back denying his request.
We're not asking to fly the flag of another government. We're asking to fly the flag of a people.
The city has struggled to manage the politics of flags flying at Civic Square for years. A policy was put in place to let the clerk's office handle flag-raising requests in 2019. This also prohibited flags that are controversial, politically or religiously motivated. In the fall, the policy was updated to prohibit flags of other countries after people approached council about a Vietnamese flag flying outside City Hall that brought back bad memories of the oppressive country they fled.
We have interpreted this to be a flag of Iran and a flag of another country, and as such, administratively, under the protocol policy, we have denied the flag raising.
But Arab says this flag symbol dates back more than 1,000 years and does not interfere with the city's policy since it hasn't belonged to any country for nearly 50 years.
Applying a bylaw about foreign national flags to a symbol that no nation currently flies is an overreach of the intended purpose.
Council sympathized with Arab and says while they stand with the people of Iran, they have to avoid the topic entirely. Keenan Sora Khan, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Well, Daryl Yorkton, RCMP, asking the public to keep an eye out for an escaped prisoner.
Jeremy was last seen on March 10th at about 1 p.m. on Broadway Street. He's on your screen. His name is Jefferson Job. Went missing from the White Spruce Provincial Training Center. Job is about 6'4", 245 pounds, brown hair, black hair, brown eyes. He has tattoos on his neck, 306 on his cheek, as you can see. If you know where he is, you contact police or Crime Stoppers. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre is heading to the United States to, quote, fight for fair trade. Poilievre's first U.S. stop will be Michigan, where he will meet with auto industry leaders and state legislators to defend an integrated North American auto industry. He'll also head to Texas to meet with energy industry executives. He's then set to speak at an event hosted by the Foreign Policy Association in New York. Google Maps is announcing its biggest update in 10 years with a major AI makeover. Becky Worley got a tour of the new features with the head of Google Maps. Take a look.
This morning, AI comes to Maps.
At the light, take a sharp left onto 15th Street.
Ask Maps is an AI enhancement to Google Maps that lets you ask complex questions that a map couldn't answer before. Like, find a public tennis court with lights for playing at night, or find me a hair salon nearby that's good for curly hair. It's sourcing info from millions of websites and reviews, and the answers include photos and ratings. Google's Miriam Daniel says the power of Maps plus AI is different from anything else out there.
It is personalized to you. So based on your activity in Maps, the prior searches you may have done. Maps is what you use when you want to go out in the physical world, so you can turn those plans into actions instantly.
And it's really helpful when you're hungry.
What are some iconic SF eateries nearby that offer outdoor seating and have good vegetarian options too? And here you go.
I see it. Tony's. Okay, it looks like a pretty long line. So, do you think they have a to-go option?
Let's check. Does Tony's have pizza by the slice, and can we have it to go? So it's now just looking at all of the sources, and there you go.
2 slices, California veggie, please. Here we go.
We got the pizza. And there's an update to driving directions, too.
It's the biggest transformation to Google Maps' navigation experience in over a decade.
Google even making some of the buildings on the map transparent.
So see-through buildings help you look around the corner and prepare for your next 2 turns.
I see. That makes sense.
Here we are. Making navigation a little bit easier. Becky Worley, ABC News, Oakland, California.
Big changes, and they all seem to have AI in them.
Yeah. It's the new world. Let's turn our attention to the weather picture here. In Regina, it's not a bad start to the day, but of course we are talking about quite a bit of snow that fell overnight in the southwest corner of the province. Still going to be taking a look at that system throughout the rest of the morning and into the early afternoon. In terms of the temperatures, though, not bad for Regina. -3 right now with that cloud cover. Winds coming in at 17 kilometers per hour. Those will be increasing for our afternoon quite a bit. -12 to wake us up in Saskatoon. Again, talking about that cloud cover today. Winds at 22 kilometers per hour. They are going to be increasing in Saskatoon this afternoon, just not quite as strong as the gusts that we're going to be taking a look at down towards the south. Regina could be seeing them up to about 50 kilometers per hour. Same with Swift Current, Estevan. So it's not just going to be snow we're talking about, it's going to be blowing snow. Be prepared for that. I want to show you how this system made its way in, though. So it started late last night, continued on into the overnight hours and into early this morning as well. We're still seeing it impacting us. This is current right now on your screen. So it's not just the purple color, it's also coming with the pinks and the greens. So the freezing rain as well, really making for some difficult situations out on those roads, making for that closure right around Swift Current on the Trans-Canada Highway. So it's not necessarily the day if you are going to be traveling west from Regina to really the Saskatchewan border there. Into the afternoon hours, we do see it starting to break up. Estevan still going to be seeing some of those flakes into the mid-afternoon, and then that system will disappear into the United States. Just one small blip on the radar there in the southwest corner of the province. Thankfully, though, this number has gone down. The total snowfall expected by the end of the day for Swift Current. So it was about 5 centimeters expected only about an hour ago. Now it's dropped down to about 1 centimeter expected by the end of the day. Moose Jaw 1 centimeter expected as well. And Estevan still expecting to see about 5 centimeters of snow. Of course, we were just talking about how that system is going to be lingering there until the mid-afternoon, so that is no surprise. Today's forecast with the temperatures showing that they have gone down compared to yesterday. -7 this afternoon for Prince Albert, mix of sun and cloud. Mainly cloudy for the Battlefords, -8 in Saskatoon as well. -4 for Regina, -1 for Weyburn, and 1 degree expected for Estevan. Again, with all of these flakes, we're expecting the winds to be going up, so expect that blowing snow out on your roads. Your 7-day forecast for Saskatoon showing that temperatures will be dropping tomorrow down to about -10, -13 on Saturday, and -11 on Sunday, -7 on Monday, -3 on Tuesday, and 3 degrees expected on Wednesday. In Regina, -4 tomorrow, -10 on Saturday, and dropping down slightly to -12 for your Sunday. Time now for a look at our rural forecast. We are seeing temperatures that have gone down slightly compared to yesterday. -9 in Spiritwood with that cloud cover today, -3 for Hudson Bay, and -7 for Wynyard. Down towards the south, we're seeing a lot more of that snow system that started impacting southern Saskatchewan late last night. It's going to start tapering off in the early to mid-afternoon. With that, Maple Creek reaching -1 this afternoon, -1 for Rockland, 0 degrees for Coronach, and -4 for Broadview. Also expecting the winds to be going up in southern Saskatchewan today as well. Let's take a look at Ituna, where internet plans up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel. Looking at an afternoon high of -6, sun and clouds, and winds coming in up to 45 kilometers per hour.
Culture is at the forefront this morning for our Mike Siona, who's gearing up for St. Patrick's Day. Mike, what's going on?
Well, I'll tell you what, we're celebrating all things Irish this morning. I'm joined by Katie Blakeney and Laura Minnock now as we are preparing for St. Patrick's Day. And of course, it's not until Tuesday, but the celebration has kind of morphed into kind of the closest weekend, which happens to start tomorrow, I guess, ultimately. But Saturday is the big day in Saskatoon. Tell us about it.
So we have 4 different groups all over the city. We've got people at all the pubs downtown, kind of making sure everyone's getting warmed up for St. Patrick's Day. We're going to bring the dancing. We're going to bring the music. It's going to be great.
I absolutely love that. Now, Laura here is one of the dancers. And Laura, I understand you're going to the World Championships. Tell me how exciting that is and what does it mean to you?
Yes, I'm very excited. It's a big opportunity because not many people get to go, so I'm very excited.
Fantastic. And something, only 5 in Western Canada qualify. It's the best in the world. Pretty cool, right?
Yes, definitely.
All right. Well, we do have a little bit of time right now, so I'll get you to pop over here, and we're going to not talk about Irish dance anymore. We're going to show you a little sneak peek of what you might see St. Patrick's Day on Saturday, and then again on Tuesday for the real St. Patrick's Day. Let's take it away. CityIrishDance.com is the website if you want more details on dancing and Irish dancing here in Saskatoon. And of course, it all gets started on Saturday and then continues with the celebration of St. Patrick's Day on Tuesday.
We've talked about space junk before. We got this being called a tow truck for space junk. I think it looks like a claw machine. We're just going to ignore the fact that Jeremy's hiding on us. Yeah. It's being developed by a company in the UK called Clear Space. The truck goes out, look at that, traps the junk, and then drags it towards the atmosphere. We had a University of Regina professor who specializes in this on the show a couple of times. It's going to take a lot more, she says, than just this one truck, but this is a good start.
Yeah, neat. Anything to do with space is neat.
They're hoping to have a brand new industry where they just clean up space junk, which is fabulous. They should do that.
No, that's great.
They should absolutely do that. Let's talk about flowers in our question du jour.
Welcome, Jeremy.
Hi, Jeremy.
Hi.
Hi.
Sorry I'm late.
No, that's okay. We'll always wait. You're worth the wait.
That's right.
Yeah. Let's get to those answers on the big board. We're asking you, what is your favorite flower or plant today? Because it is National Plant a Flower Day. Some great answers coming in on our text line. Heather is saying, my favorite is the prairie lily. It was also my grandmother's favorite. Kevin saying nothing beats a traditional bouquet of roses.
Yeah.
Sure, there's a lot of people that would agree with Kevin on that one.
Director Corey owes Jeremy a couple of roses after.
No, that was not him. That was all me.
Debbie saying my favorite flower is the crocus. When I see them, I know spring has truly arrived. Can't wait to start seeing those. Delphine saying with spring on the way, I can't wait to smell the scent of sweet peas. Love, love, love the smell. Delphine's with me. I love the ones that smell really good.
Has nobody agreed with Jeremy Dodge and the corpse flower?
No one has.
The most interesting plant on the planet?
No, one person is morbidly curious about the... Okay.
No, we had Brendan also saying the sunflower, and we had Lois saying the wild crocuses, but can never find any. Also love the bird of paradise plant. So great answers so far. We want to hear from you, though. Text your name and your answer to 10400. Standard message rates may apply, or you can scan that QR code on your screen. We're going to talk more about those plants in about an hour.
The International Energy Agency is warning that the ongoing conflict in the Middle East has led to the largest supply disruption in the history of the global oil market. This, according to an IEA report released on Thursday. It adds Gulf countries have reduced their oil production by at least 10 million barrels per day, and global oil supply is estimated to be declining by 8 million barrels per day throughout the month of March. The crisis has also affected global product markets, particularly exports going through the Strait of Hormuz. And that crunch is being felt around the world. On Wednesday, in an interview with Danish media, Denmark's energy minister urged citizens of the Scandinavian country to cut back on energy use and ditch cars. Lars Agard said what the Danes should please do is that if there's any energy consumption that you can do without, if it is not strictly necessary to drive the car, then don't do it. The translation was provided by Google. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
Time for your morning mystery. The last 2 days have been tough, so let's see what they have in store for us today. Today it is a person, we are told. Clue number 1. Known for athletics, acting, music, and philanthropy. Well, that really narrows it down.
Yeah.
That could be like only 800.
Okay, so very multi-talented.
Holds 3 degrees and is a certified reserve law enforcement officer.
Oh.
Clue number 3, wears a U.S. men's size 22 shoe, which is just under 15 inches long. I got it.
I have only one guess for this.
Okay, I'm curious. Boards up. 3, 2, 1, go.
I'm going to say Shaq.
We all said Shaq. I think the law enforcement thing gave it away for me because he was a police officer in Grown Ups 2.
It was the size of shoe for me.
That is a big shoe. Boy, oh boy. Shaq is our answer to our morning mystery.
Studio consideration provided by Father's Furniture, specializing in quality Canadian-made furniture.
School day forecast is brought to you by CAA School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zone safe. If you're heading out to catch the bus in Regina, we're at -3, -12 through Saskatoon, though, with a mix of sun and cloud to start the day. By lunchtime in Regina, we do have a chance of seeing some blowing snow, so just be prepared for that. -5 at that lunchtime hour, -9 at lunchtime in Saskatoon, and by final bell, -4 for Regina and -8 for Saskatoon. As we go to break, here's a look at those gas prices in Regina. The common price, $149.9. The lowest you might find is $129.9. In Saskatoon, the common price is $150.9, and you might find it for as low as $139.9. In the farm markets this morning, we find the street price of canola at $662.33 per ton. The futures price, $733.30 per ton. Amber Durham wheat now at $278.59 per ton, and red spring wheat at $269.60 per ton. The Canadian dollar trending down this morning. It's at 73.60 cents U.S. New rules take effect today for big banks. What it means for you when we come back.
Welcome back to Your Morning Saskatchewan. Let's get you caught up on your headlines. We begin with leaders from Treaty 6 First Nations. They've concluded a meeting with King Charles at Buckingham Palace. 7 representatives from Treaty 6 First Nations in Alberta and Saskatchewan discussed what they say is the Crown's obligation to protect and uphold treaty rights. Kathy Lee reports.
Inside Buckingham Palace, a rare private meeting between King Charles and Treaty 6 First Nations leaders of Saskatchewan and Alberta.
It was actually an amazing experience.
Grand Council Chief Joey Peach was one of 7 in the delegation. Speaking from London, he said the meeting reaffirmed the treaty relationship with the Crown and that the King expressed his concern about the growing separatist movement in Alberta.
I said, yes. The province does not care about the treaties or the Crown. Then he said, oh, really, again? He didn't like that. The treaty is law, and it's part of the Constitution. It cannot be broken, and it supersedes any legislation.
For months, Alberta separation supporters have been collecting signatures on a citizen-led petition.
We have taken particular and specific steps to making sure that First Nations and treaty rights are respected.
But Indigenous leaders have filed court challenges against the petition and have pushed back against the movement, urging the Premier to denounce it.
The lands do not belong to Alberta. So when we're talking about separation, and these separatists that would like to leave, that they have absolutely nothing to take.
Ahead of Quebec's 1995 referendum, several Indigenous communities held their own votes and rejected leaving Canada.
Indigenous people had an impact on that. We started to see some conversation on how Indigenous nations have to be respected and reflected.
For these 7 chiefs, their messages delivered directly to the Crown.
Yes, I do feel he was listening.
And returning to Canada, hopeful about what comes next. Kathy Lee, CTV News, Calgary.
Parliament Hill, meantime, reacting to the latest stampede across the floor.
There are a variety of many things that have allowed me to really reflect on this, and I'm very thankful to be so warmly welcomed.
Nunavut MP Lori Idloud cheered by fellow members of the Liberal caucus after her defection from the NDP. Her move leaves the New Democrats with just 6 seats in the House. Interim Leader Don Davies says anyone who crosses the floor should face an immediate by-election.
Whether or not there's a majority government is fundamentally a decision of the Canadian people at the ballot box. And it should happen that way, not through backroom deals.
Speaking of by-elections, there are 3 coming up this next month. Winning 2 of the 3 would give the Liberals a majority. Prime Minister Mark Carney will unveil the government's plan to defend Canada's northern and Arctic region as he visits Yellowknife later today. Carney is charging his cabinet meeting in Ottawa this morning, chairing a cabinet meeting this morning. Then he'll fly to Yellowknife, where he will also meet with the Northwest Territories Premier. From there, he's going to fly to Norway to talk to Norway's Prime Minister and observe NATO's cold response exercises. Busy guy. Another massive delay for motorists in Saskatoon yesterday afternoon after another overpass was hit by a load that was just a little too tall. The overpass on 108th Street over Circle Drive was hit yesterday about 5 p.m. Perfect time because everybody's heading home from work and play. A semi hauling an excavator on a flatbed was seen parked on the side of the road near the overpass. City's last update said structural engineers were on the scene immediately and confirmed the overpass is safe for use. The northbound curb lane on Circle Drive was closed while debris was cleared, causing a kilometers-long traffic jam on Circle Drive near College, and I'm sure you all appreciated that. Big changes coming to Saskatoon's airport. Renovations, massive ones are coming. Stacey Hine took a look.
The Saskatoon Airport could soon be getting a new look. The Saskatoon Airport Authority says it's in the final planning stages of a $12 million renovation of the arrivals area. It says construction is tentatively set to begin in June, with work happening in phases over the next 18 to 24 months.
We have to keep operating the airport at the same time. So we want to phase this in a really way that minimizes operational disruption.
The redesigned space will feature a prairie-themed look with elements inspired by the sun, the river, and prairie grasses.
We want it to have an identity and to represent Saskatchewan such that when international guests arrive, that it reflects the type of experience they can expect here.
The renovation comes as passenger numbers at the Saskatoon Airport continue to grow. About 1.5 million travelers passed through the airport last year, making it the second busiest year on record. But the Airport Authority is also looking to diversify its revenue beyond passenger travel. It's offering up to 60 acres of land for industrial development along the airport's south perimeter on Claypool Drive.
So what a lot of airports and business have done have learned from the pandemic event, attempting to diversify our revenue away from that element to give us greater certainty and stability.
The Airport Authority is working with commercial real estate firm Colliers to list the land. The firm says the property is hitting the market at a key time, with industrial vacancy rates low across Saskatchewan.
We're looking for partners who value sustainability, collaboration, and community impact.
The site would be available for industrial development through a long-term land lease extending to 2079. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
If you're planning on booking a flight in the next few weeks, you may see a noticeable price hike as the conflict in the Middle East starts to impact the price of jet fuel. Industry analysts say that you should brace for a significant fare increase in the coming months. If jet fuel prices remain high, an international flight could increase by $100 to $200 one way. It's uncertain how domestic flights will be impacted, as airlines could try to minimize the impact. In a statement to CTV News, WestJet said rising fuel prices have already had an impact on operating flights. Air Canada and Porter Airlines both issued statements basically saying it's too early to forecast how ticket prices may be impacted. New rules are now in effect, limiting the amount that banks can charge customers who don't have enough money in their account to cover a check or a other pre-charge. Canada's new cap on non-sufficient funds is set at $10 for personal deposit accounts. The changes announced by Ottawa last year kick in today. The federal government has said that until now, NSF fees could be as high as $50. Advocates say that charge disproportionately affects low-income Canadians and people with poor credit histories. This new cap is expected to save Canadians more than $600 million annually. Residents of a mobile home community near Saskatoon are voicing their concern as their rent is taking a jump. Hallie Mandrick on why.
Melissa Hawgood and her family decided to put down roots at Sunset Estates about 5 years ago.
But recent changes on behalf of the company that owns the land have resulted in deep concerns among those who have been planning a future in the mobile home community.
This is our home. We're not just numbers on a piece of paper. This is where we raise our families. This is where our seniors retire. This place is very special to a lot of people, and we'd like to continue to keep it our home.
Hallgood says she is one of more than 200 residents of Sunset Estates who has seen an increase in charges from the landowner Compass Communities. In mobile home communities like this one, residents own or mortgage their homes, but pay a monthly rent for the land they sit on. Angus Mackay has lived in the community for more than 20 years. He shared that his monthly fees have increased by nearly 20% over the last year, which means hundreds of extra dollars out of his pocket over the next year. He says a series of price increases and additional fees now included in the monthly cost of rent have created a lot of financial worry for residents.
We have lots of people here who are elderly. We have people who are on a fixed income, and it is getting increasingly harder and harder for people to survive and afford to live here.
After communication with the Office of Residential Tenancies and a community meeting, the residents of Sunset Estates are now in the process of individually filing applications with the ORT to flag their concerns, believing that these charges were not properly communicated. Compass Communities shared a statement with CTV claiming that these price increases came with proper notice, going on to say, quote, "These changes reflect the rising non-discretionary costs of operating a land lease community, including the ongoing maintenance and capital expenditures required to replace aging water infrastructure. These adjustments are necessary to align with current operational realities, including snow removal and essential community maintenance that protect the long-term value of our residents' homes." In the meantime, the Sunset residents are banding together during what many have described as a stressful time.
Sometimes people will think, oh, it's just a trailer park. We're not. We're a mobile home community, and we take pride in the way that our homes look and pride in caring for the community and caring for each other.
Mackay says most people in the community are looking for ways to stay in Sunset Estates.
Hopefully we can work with them and we can find a compromise to bring the rent back to a controllable level and actually see progress in the park instead of just seeing the rent go up.
Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, east of Saskatoon.
Canada picked up 2 bronze medals in skiing at the Paralympics, including one of Saskatchewan's athletes. Prince Albert's Brittany Hudak claimed bronze in the women's 10-kilometer interval start standing classic race. Now, it's the first medal of these games for Hudak, who has won 4 in her career. Earlier in the event, Kurt Otway won a bronze in para-alpine skiing, and Gil Dash has qualified for the medal round in his wheelchair curling team. He's the guy that made that really awesome shot you probably saw all over social media. This is the Highway Hotline. Now, it's important to mention, Kayleen, that the road is closed there in that section that I've said continually is not good anytime I travel it. But that was last updated at 5:31 this morning. It's now 7:39.
Yes, exactly. So we have been keeping an eye on the radar and satellite this morning. It is still showing that we are seeing flakes in the area still. Really, all of southern Saskatchewan is going to be seeing some flakes at one point or another throughout the day today. We're really seeing that system leave into the United States into the mid-afternoon hours. Let's turn our attention right now, though, to the current temperatures before we get to that radar and satellite. We're seeing an improvement when it comes to that extreme cold up north this morning. So thankful for that. We're not seeing minus 40 today, minus 28 to wake us up in Stony Rapids, minus 13 in La Ronge and South End, minus 9 in Melforton, minus 8 in Hudson Bay. Down towards the south, seeing more of that blue color, so that's also nice to see. 0 degrees in East End, Moose Jaw, Weyburn, and Estevan. Minus 13, though, in Yorkton, minus 12 to wake us up in Saskatoon, and minus 3 right now in Regina. The radar and satellite, as I mentioned, showing that system and how it made its way in late last night. Again, as Daryl just said, we're seeing the closures because of this system right around Swift Current there on the Trans-Canada Highway. If you're wondering what we're seeing right now, this is current on your screen. So clearly still seeing a lot of that system impacting southern Saskatchewan. Also seeing some of those green and pink colors there. So it's not just snow, it's also a little bit of freezing rain as well. We do see it trying to make its way into the United States by the early to mid-afternoon there. 2:15 p.m. we're still seeing some of it right around Estevan, southwest corner of the province. Going to continue seeing some of it into the afternoon hours. It's just a much smaller portion of the province that's going to be seeing some of those flakes at that time. Now, today's forecast with the temperatures looking lower than what we saw yesterday, -7 in Prince Albert, -8 in Saskatoon, -8 in the Battlefords as well, seeing a lot of that cloud cover today, -4 in Yorkton, -1 in Swift Current, Weyburn, and 1 degree for Estevan. But again, going to be talking about some flakes at one point or another into the afternoon hours. And we're also talking about the winds going up today as well. So be prepared for that snow to be blowing across the roads. It's not an ideal day for travel. -4 tomorrow in Regina, but we're not going to be seeing any more of those flakes. The winds should be going down tomorrow as well. -10 on Saturday and -12 on Sunday. Expecting some more snow early next week, likely on Tuesday right now on our radar. -10 tomorrow in Saskatoon, -13 on Saturday, -11 on Sunday, -7 on Monday. And again, talking about the possibility of some more flurries on Tuesday.
Celtic Woman is coming to the Connexus Arts Centre in Regina on April 7th, and we want to send you to the show. Online is where you enter at ctvregina.ca for a chance to win a pair of tickets to the show. Time to talk politics as we welcome the mayor of this fine city on the day when he is about to deliver the State of the City address. And I think, Chad Baczynski, that's where we will start. In your view, what is the state of the city?
Well, you're going to have to come and find out at lunch today. We're going to talk a little bit of reflection on the year, the last full year that I've been in the office, and then some looking forward items and what we're looking forward to, some of the challenges, but a lot of the opportunities.
Let's get into council. Last night, you approved transit fee increases for April 1st. A lot of local income earners say this is going to disproportionately affect them. What's your response to that?
Yeah, and we heard from a lot of delegates talking about the potential impacts of transit fare increase, and these aren't easy decisions. We made a lot of tough budget decisions, and I absolutely support transit. During the budget deliberations, I did not want to cut routes. We increased security on transit. It's the situation that we're in right now is a challenging one, and we're seeing mill rate increases, transit increases, parking increases. Everything we can do to try and stabilize the finances of our city right now. So it's a tough conversation, but ultimately we're trying to look long term to try and stabilize the services that we deliver.
Where are we at with library renewal?
Yeah, we had a bit of a timeline and information last night that we went through in detail. I think the biggest thing was we had a new council, many new council members. We've had changes in administration, and a timeline where we saw debt that was committed where we didn't really have the amount of debt available. We received more debt, which did give us the debt available, and then during budget deliberations and that report identified that because we are growing faster than anticipated, the upgrade to the wastewater treatment plant is a higher priority than it was before.
So this is getting pushed back.
So what we're going to do is we're going to gather information. There was a referral motion to look at scenarios. So some of the scenarios are going to be looking at is to say, what does our debt look like over time if we were to get some of the funding that we've applied for other levels of government? How does that affect our debt, and what available capacity would that leave for things like the library project? And so that's the information we're going to gather. We need to take a pause to get that information to them, and then the library board can look at what's available and run those scenarios to see what that looks like.
The Aquatic Centre was a big push for Mayor Sandra Masters when she was in office. You've taken over. You've inherited that project. Is the mill rate going to go up to cover the cost of this beautiful facility?
So we have a plan over the debt, for covering the debt for that project, and we have the mill rate built into what that looks like. So, but the important part there is that we committed that in the last budget cycle for paying off that debt over time, as well as we were receiving a significant amount of funds from other levels of government for that project. And so that's a big contributing factor. When we talk about leaning up to our debt limit, we need to stretch our dollars further. And so projects where we have tens of millions of dollars coming from other levels of government help us get our dollars to go further.
The Connexus Arts Centre is where you can hear the State of the City address. It's over the noon hour today. You can get your tickets at the door. Here's what's happening in our community. An arm wrestling tournament happening March 14th at the Doug 3rd Hall out in Estevan. Call 306-201-6431. Take-home Irish stew supper happening with a pre-order on March 14th. Pick up on the 15th at Lakeview United Church, 3200 McCallum Avenue. St. Patrick's Coffee Party, March 14th at 9:30 a.m. over at the Westminster United Church. Call 306-533-0601. The Saskatchewan Rough Rider Pep Band Open House and Rehearsal happens March 15th at 1:30 p.m. over at Fly Fitness Regina. That's 1438 Lindsay Street. Email skriderpepband@gmail.com. Submit your event to our community by visiting our website, ctvregina.ca, and click on Community Calendar.
It's March 12th, and we have these milestones to share with you. We'll start off with a big happy birthday going out to Mary. Much love coming all the way from your kids and grandkids. We hope you have a wonderful day. Also celebrating is Stephen. Happy birthday to you. We hope this is your best birthday yet. Enjoy your special day. Happy 5th birthday to Sylvie. We hope your day is absolutely amazing. Lots of love from your Auntie Carly, Uncle Travis, and Aubrey. Turning 14 years old is Carson. Happy birthday. Have the best year yet. Lots of love coming to you from your mom, Jason, and Lexi. Turning 50 years old today is Mike. A lot of love coming your way from all of your family and friends. Have a wonderful birthday. Also celebrating is Jude. Happy birthday to you. Lots of love from your Auntie Lori and Eric. And happy birthday also going out to Riley. We hope you have an amazing day celebrating your sweet 16th birthday. Lots of love from your dad, Christy, Taylor, Charlotte, and Cohen.
Milestones, brought to you by Harbor Landing Village, an award-winning senior care and living community in Regina.
If you have a milestone coming up, send us an email to yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca or simply scan that QR code on your screen. Please send those in at least one day in advance.
Hi, everyone. Mark Rowe inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Wednesday in Fort. We head to Indian Wells. Carlos Alcaraz showing off the hands. Doesn't even let the ball drop before hitting the perfectly placed lob. An unreal shot by the world #1 as he dispatched Casper Ruud in straight sets to advance to the quarterfinals. That is your must-see moment from Wednesday. Tonight on TSN, a pair of hockey games. The Leafs taking on the Ducks on TSN 4 for viewers in the Leafs region. And those in the Jets region can catch Winnipeg host the Rangers on TSN 3. That's all from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
From some incredible athletes to another incredible athlete. Chase, good morning.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. I will hand you over some cash here. We have this because we got the $50K payday coming up in Incredible Athletes. I was going to make it rain, and I thought, no, because I'm going to have to pick it up off the floor, and my back might not handle that. So we'll just leave it in that giant pile of cash. But this is a little jump start for you. Coming up on Monday, we're going to start the $50K payday, and we'll have keywords for you every hour starting at 6 a.m. right till 6 p.m. You'll enter those online. We'll give away $500 daily, and then the grand prize winner, someone's name is being put on a check worth $50,000, and it could be yours. You can find all the details, superiorcountry927.ca.
I can't believe that Brandon's just handing all of that money just over to any viewer and listener out there. It's crazy.
I figured out his password for his bank account.
It was password, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was password exclamation point after that.
Of course.
Yeah, nice and easy. I'll see you tomorrow.
It's really, really wonderful to be here.
Kate Winslet reportedly is in talks to join The Lord of the Rings, The Hunt for Gollum. The film is expected in theaters in December of 2027. The Oscar winner is coming off a movie in another huge fantasy franchise, Avatar: Fire and Ash.
The past
returns, my son.
It's the 35th anniversary of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze. The sequel is back in theaters for 1 week beginning Friday and restored in 4K. Locations and showtimes at fathomentertainment.com.
This is the end of one chapter and the beginning of another.
Yes, it is.
Virgin River is back for a 7th season, with old loves, new threats, a mysterious death, and a potential adoption in the remote Northern California town. All 10 episodes of Virgin River Season 7 arrive today on Netflix. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Well, this could be the future of workouts for astronauts. Take a look at this. This home gym, so to speak, is designed for long-haul space missions. It's versatile. It doesn't need electricity to run. The machine was put through the paces in a test flight. NASA says astronauts spend an average of 2 hours a day exercising. I guess you'd have to, right?
Yeah.
Holy moly.
You got to keep moving and limber.
It looks like a very fancy rowing machine.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, lack
Janelle
of
and I
gravity
trying
would really
mess
keep
with the whole
you,
thing.
Man, yeah.
Impressive.
Space.
All right. We go now to things with this script is just completely messed up. What it would sound like with different singers, if different singers all sang the same song. Who wrote this?
Words.
My life is brilliant. My life is pure.
Musician Justin Moore is showing off his talent by impersonating different singers. Listen as he sings James Blunt. He also impersonates Ed Sheeran, Elvis. Of course, the list goes on to include Michael Bublé, Billy Joel, Armstrong, and yes, even a groan tribute.
What is it? What is a groan tube?
Well, you have to listen.
Is this it? Okay.
That's
What?
the groan tube.
Okay. Is this a thing?
Sure.
All right. Can't wait to get the next album of Groan Tube. It's Thursday, March 12th.
There's a bigger implication to it is
gun owners in Saskatchewan can soon apply for a certificate of exemption.
Is not an existing flag of a country. It has not been the flag of Iran since 1979. It is now a cultural symbol. It holds a history of more than 1,000 years behind it.
A flag symbolizing the opposition of the Iranian regime will not be flying outside Saskatoon City Hall.
And for the first time in its history, Canada is headed on to the World Baseball Classic quarterfinals.
And Canada on a dream run at the World Baseball Classic, reaching the quarterfinals for the very first time. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. Good morning and happy Thursday.
The conditions on Highway 1 are improving, but they're still not awesome.
Yeah, we're not really seeing any major updates from Highway Hotline, but we're still seeing that closure right around Swift Current. Yeah. Still seeing some snow coming down in southern Saskatchewan as well, so take it easy out there.
You know what that means? That means they ain't driving on it either. Let's get over to your headlines. We begin with the conflict in the Middle East continuing to drive up prices as Iran launches attacks on commercial ships right around the Persian Gulf. Dramatic new video. Stop what you're doing. Take a look at your screen. This is incredible video. 2 oil tankers on fire in the Persian Gulf, forcing Iraq to suspend oil operations. Iran is trying to inflict enough economic global pain to pressure the U.S. and Israel to stop their bombardment. Meanwhile, the world's oil-rich countries are trying to calm the markets.
I don't think we're yet in a situation where we need to see panic in the market or acute shortages.
That was the head of the International Energy Agency speaking on the decision to release oil from reserves. Today, Iran targeted fuel tanks at a facility in Bahrain. The price of oil reached $100 U.S. a barrel this morning before settling back down to $96. The United Nations says more than 3 million people have been forced from their homes in Iran since the conflict began nearly 2 weeks ago. The UN Refugee Agency says as many as 1 million families are now temporarily displaced inside Iran. Also affected are refugee families being hosted posted in Iran, mostly from Afghanistan, who the agency warns are particularly vulnerable. The Commissioner for Refugees warns those numbers are likely to continue rising. Saskatchewan gun owners can soon apply for a certificate of exemption to continue to store and possess lawfully owned but now prohibited firearms. The exemption is tied to federal compensation under a buyback program that follows a change in laws banning more guns. According to the province, this will prevent affected gun owners from facing criminal charges over possession, but does not cover out their firearm-related offenses. Applications can be reviewed by the Saskatchewan Firearms Office for eligibility, and if accepted, several requirements will be met. The province says the exemptions will remain in effect until the gun owner is, quote, fairly compensated for their affected gun.
They have to provide fair market value, and until they do, you can continue to store your own firearm if you are storing it in an appropriate way, in a safe and secure way. And by doing that, you're doing that for the benefit of the province so that we don't have to do it on your behalf. And that's where the exemption under Section 117 of the Criminal Code comes in.
We've reached out to the federal government. We're awaiting a response. Let's get to a traffic disruption in Saskatoon yesterday. Jeremy?
Yeah, Daryl, this is becoming a pattern. Another massive delay after another overpass was hit by a too-tall load. The overpass on 108th Street over Circle Drive was hit yesterday around 5 p.m. A semi hauling an excavator on a flatbed was seen parked on the side of the road near the overpass. The city's last update said structural engineers were on the scene and confirmed the overpass is safe for use. The northbound curb lane on Circle Drive was closed while debris was cleared. A flag symbolizing the opposition of the Iranian regime will not be flying outside of Saskatoon City Hall. City councillors denied a request from the Saskatoon Iranian Cultural Association Wednesday to fly the Lion and Sun flag, which had been used prior to the Iranian Islamic Revolution in 1979. The request was denied from councillors looking to avoid geopolitical issues. The Iranian Cultural Association says this does not interfere with the city's policy since the Lion and Sun flag hasn't belonged to any country for nearly 50 years.
Is not an existing flag of a country. It has not been the flag of Iran since 1979. It is now a cultural symbol. It holds a history of more than 1,000 years behind it.
The city administration says they are applying the policy to include any flag associated with a nation. Daryl, transit fares going up in Regina despite some opposition. That's right, 10% increase taking effect on April 1st after narrowly passing a 6-5 vote yesterday. Representatives from groups like Better Bus Youth said low-income earners like high school students, seniors, most likely to be hurt by the increase. We spoke to the mayor on the program if you were watching on CTV Regina or Yorkton just a moment ago. That conversation will be readily available on our website. The final witness has been called in a double murder trial in Regina. With the very latest, here's Mick Favel.
The Crown has closed its case as the retrial of a Regina man facing 2 counts of first-degree murder is nearing its conclusion. Dylan Whitehawk is on trial for the deaths of Keenan Toto and Jordan Denton, who were killed in separate drive-by shootings in 2019. The final witness, who cannot be named because of a publication ban, testified they were in both vehicles at the time of the shootings. The witness claimed Whitehawk was the shooter in both instances, adding the vehicle on both nights were filled with Indian Mafia members looking for trouble. The witness recalled the loud gunfire during the shooting of Toto and how the sound hurt their ears, as well as the car pulling over and Whitehawk discarding his clothing. During cross-examination from the defense, the witness was walked through police interviews they gave in January 2020. In the interviews, the witness said they did not know who shot Denton or Toto. The witness agreed to what they said in the transcripts. Over 25 witnesses have testified in the retrial. Video footage and tape recordings have also been played in court showing one of the shootings. The jury will be back in court Friday morning with closing arguments to be delivered in the coming days. Mick Favel, CTV News, Regina.
A strong third period powered the Pats past Lethbridge.
Got in the way of that one. Now a puck in front, they score.
The Regina Pats scored 3 goals in the third period en route to a 4-2 win over the Hurricanes. The win puts them 5 points up on Red Deer and Moose Jaw for 7th place in the WHL East. That playoff race is getting tight. The Moose Jaw Warriors are tied with Red Deer now for the 8th and final playoff spot with 53 points. But the Rebels hold the tie break. So Moose Jaw, if it ended today, would be on the outside looking in. The Warriors beat the Broncos 4-3 last night in a shootout. They have 4 games to go. Rebels have 5. They need some help. We now know what the most popular dog breed in 2025 was, and here's a hint, it's not a surprise. The Labrador Retriever is taking the title once again. It has been the most popular in Canada for 32 consecutive years. This is according to the Canadian Kennel Club's annual top 10 breed list. Labs are known for their friendly nature, intelligence, and versatility, and they're considered an excellent family dog as well. Golden Retriever, which I have one, and German Shepherd followed closely behind, rounding out the top 3. Police, conservation officers, and firefighters were kept busy on Wednesday in North Battleford. Here's why. A couple of moose on the loose within the city limits. They were spotted yesterday morning, with the city alerting residents to be careful when moving about. People were also warned devices that emit high-pitched sounds can be startling to those animals. After several hours, they were tracked, they were caught, and they were safely moved outside city limits. There is moose. Where is squirrel? That is my question.
Hey, I saw a big old coyote on the drive to work a couple days ago.
A healthy one.
Yeah, big one in the parking lot of Costco there. So
you got to get after some of those big old rabbits that are out there.
Yeah. All right, let's turn our attention now to the weather picture. Beautiful start to the day here in Regina, although we do have a chance of seeing some flurries later on this morning and into the afternoon hours. Of course, we've been seeing those flurries down south already. Started late last night in areas around Swift Current. Still seeing some of that impacting us this morning. -3 right now to wake us up in Regina, though, with that cloud cover. Winds coming in at 15 kilometers per hour right now. In Saskatoon, -13 with that cloud cover, and winds coming in at 26 kilometers per hour. We are going to be seeing the winds going up in both cities today. However, it is going to be stronger down towards the south. Let's take a look at this radar and satellite. We talked about that system just a little bit already, though. So you can see it entering the province late last night. Swift Current really seeing it most of the night, and that can be where we credit the closure to, right around Swift Current on that Trans-Canada Highway this morning. We've been keeping an eye on it, but we haven't seen a whole lot of changes yet so far this morning. What you're looking at on the screen now is current. So where that system is at right now, right on the cusp of reaching us here in Regina. Estevan also starting to see some of those flurries this morning. It's going to be pushing away from most places in Saskatchewan in the mid-afternoon. This is at about 2:45 p.m. Estevan can start to see it pulling away from the city there. And then we just see a small piece of that system still impacting the southwest corner of the province. Today's forecast with temperatures looking a bit cooler than what we have been seeing in the past couple days. -8 for the Battlefords, -8 for Saskatoon, and -4 for Yorkton with that cloud cover. Down towards the south, you see a lot of that snow icon there. Just keep in mind that with the winds going up, it could be blowing snow as well. Your 5-day forecast looking like tomorrow is going to be similar in terms of the actual air temperature, but we're going to be seeing those winds going down, thankfully. A mix of sun and cloud. Dropping down for -10 on Saturday, -12 on Sunday, and -8 on Monday with a mix of sun and cloud. We do start to see some more positive temperatures later on into next week. In Saskatoon, -10 tomorrow. Again, a mix of sun and cloud, but more cloud on the way for Saturday as we drop down to -13. -11 on Sunday, -7 on Monday. And again, in Saskatoon and really all throughout central and southern Saskatchewan, we're expecting temperatures to go back up into the positives by mid next week.
Let's talk this day in history. March 12, 2003, the World Health Organization issued a global alert about a new infectious disease of unknown origin in China and Vietnam. That virus became known as SARS. March 12, 2020, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau began self-isolating after he tested positive with his wife for COVID-19. March 12, 2010, Vancouver opened the 10th Winter Paralympics.
Of an unforgettable adventure, indulge in the magic of Hong Kong. Enter for a chance to win a trip for two, courtesy of the Hong Kong Tourism Board. The prize includes round-trip flights on Cathay Pacific, 4 luxurious nights at the Park Lane, Hong Kong, $1,000 spending money, and a 3-day pass granting access to over 20 amazing attractions. Enter online at ctvregina.ca or ctvsaskatoon.ca. Scan the QR code on your screen, and good luck.
A massive and painstaking restoration program's on in Rome's Grand Basilica of San Pietro. It's getting $3.1 million worth of work done, and some of that work includes scraping off layers of plaster slowly and steadily. The church is famous, of course, for holding Michelangelo's sculpture of Moses, as well as the chains which are supposed to have bound St. Peter himself. Wow.
Imagine the pressure of having to do that.
Well, I was thinking, like, yes, you could see the progress of your work, but like, oh man, what's your boss saying to you? Like, by the end of the week, I need you to full meter ahead here.
Yeah.
Like,
be very
I think
careful.
they gotta lay off with the pressure on that gig.
Tough job. Question of the day is where we go to next. Real question of the day is, does anybody agree with Jeremy Dodge and want to see that corpse flower and give it a sniff?
I'm going to pass.
Yeah, I'm going to sniff. Nobody in our viewerland decided that was what they wanted to see?
No, we had Blaine and Lumsden, though.
Chickens.
Oh.
Chickens.
Chickens. The gladiolus. I had to Google it, and I'm probably saying it wrong. I will admit that. Lori saying, I love roses, the classic. We had Kim saying calla lilies and hollyhocks. And we had Donna saying bird of paradise, which we also had a few answers for earlier on this morning.
I just want to see any of these at this point. Winter's been forever.
I know, yeah.
It's all those false ones, right? It's all those false springs.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, we're out. Oh, we're back in.
Ready to see any of these. Bob saying the prairie lily, always beautiful. We had Donna saying the lady slipper, but waiting for those crocuses every spring. It's so exciting. And we had
Orange tiger lily.
Yeah, Becca saying orange tiger lily. I like that one too. And we had sweet peas and roses. Both smell heavenly.
Bring on spring. We're back with health news in just a minute.
Please. Now to the growing trend of young girls using makeup and how brands are now marketing products specifically to children as young as 3 years old. Lori Bergamatto has the details.
She's doing her own makeup.
Many young girls love playing with makeup.
Remember, not that much, baby girl.
Sierra Fritcher says her 7-year-old daughter, Evie, began showing interest at a very young age.
As I would get ready, she always wanted to be held, so she was always on my hip since she was probably 2 years old. Most little girls, they want to mimic their moms, their sisters.
The mother-daughter duo spend time together making Get Ready With Me skits on TikTok.
Oh, I like that. Is that your bronzer?
Yeah. And Sierra says their content often sparks heated discussions in the comments section.
There's just a lot of debate on letting her wear makeup. A lot of people see it as she's too young, she's too little. I feel like I'm allowing her to grow and express herself as anybody else, should with their kids. And this is just the way that she likes to do it.
Beauty brands are now offering products they say are formulated for young children and are seeing a surge in demand, like Super Smalls, selling accessories and makeup play kits, some of which include clear mascara and lipstick and pale pink blush. Evereden markets moisturizers and other skincare products for kids as young as 3. And Clean Naturals, which sells low pigment makeup aimed at children between 5 and 7 years old.
Makeup is just a great way to use your imagination, use your creativity, become an individual, really become unique. It starts early, so there might as well be a safe option, like the kids see their parents wearing makeup or they see it in the stores or the malls.
And I think these beauty brands have a social responsibility to make sure that their messaging is a positive one and that they're not promoting these very unrealistic beauty standards.
Experts say parents should be mindful of the messaging associated with beauty products and promote self-esteem that is not rooted in appearance.
The disconnect is in the reason that they're using it. And so if it isn't about creative expression and play and imagination, and it becomes more about building a self-esteem from the outside in, that is really the concern.
Sierra says she stresses to her daughter that inner beauty is what matters most.
How do you feel, babe, when you wear makeup? How does it make you feel?
Beautiful.
And then when you don't wear it, how does it make you feel? Like when you don't have it, how do you feel?
Still beautiful.
Health Report, brought to you in part by SEIU West, Saskatchewan's first healthcare union.
All right, let's go back to Mike Siona one last time this morning, getting set for St. Patrick's Day next week.
Well, one more time down here, learning all about St. Patrick's Day and Irish dance specifically with Katie Blakey as we prepare for a busy weekend for you guys. And we're not just here watching dance. I would be remiss if I didn't try to learn something. What are you going to teach me?
We're going to teach you some jump 2-3s or push 2-3s. They're the first move you ever learn in Irish dancing. So you're going to be right with the beginner class, and then you're going to be ready for the next Kaylee.
Perfect. The first and the last step that I will ever learn in Irish dance, at least today. Let's talk us through this thing.
Absolutely. So you're going to start and put your heels together. Very nice. And then you're going to take your right foot and you're going to slide it in front. We call this diamond feet, and all of us like big diamonds. They've got big diamonds in their ankles. And then you're going to point that front toe, lovely point, and you're going to lift up a straight leg as straight as you can in the air just to your waist. You're going to jump on that foot, bring the back foot to the front, and you're going to do 2 steps. So step, behind. Very good. Now lift your other leg up. Lift, jump, step, behind. We'll do one more. Lift, jump, step, behind. Very good. You're natural.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll see about that. Truth be told, I've been practicing for the last hour or so. Let's try this all together. We're going to go in a circle. Is that right?
Yes, we're going to go in a circle. So you're going to do 8 jumps in a circle.
Yeah, we're going to try. Okay, let's do this, shall we?
So yeah, same start. So heels together, toes out, right foot in front, right foot points, and we're going to go clockwise.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, so lift that leg, jump, step behind, left leg, jump, step behind, right leg, jump, step behind, left, jump, step behind, right foot, jump, step behind, left foot, jump, step behind.
There you go. Well, I think we get the picture here that the Irish dancers will do the Irish dancing. I have certainly tried. It's a busy night. I think you guys start dancing around the downtown zone at all the bars about 5 o'clock on Saturday. And then, of course, on St. Patrick's Day on Tuesday, they've got the big fundraiser for the Saskatoon City Hospital Foundation going on at O'Shea's. And then right after the breakfast at noon, you guys kick off there what should be a wonderful celebration of Irish culture.
Well, the Saskatoon Collectors Show is the largest of its kind in the prairies, and it is coming here this weekend in Saskatoon. Ian Weimer is here to join us to talk about it. Ian, give us the details of this year's event.
This year we're running Friday, Saturday, Friday nights from 5 to 9, Saturday 9 to 5, and doors will be lined up. 200 people, get your item quick.
Yeah, that's always the coolest part, is right at the beginning, because you have such a vast array and assortment of collectors, but it's really that first surge where a lot of the unique stuff might go.
It does. The first wave of people that come in, you'll see them leaving shortly after with stuff in their hands. The later people, they're just coming and it might not be there anymore.
Sure, yeah, and kind of looking, and that's kind of the cool thing. Now, I understand that this year, though, you've got some new groups taking part.
Yes, this year we've added about 20 vendors for the Woodworkers Guild of Saskatoon and the Hub City Woodturners. So we're looking forward to some unique items like this bowl here. Some amazing products they make, and we thought, hey, what a great place to add a new event to the show.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you guys, that's such a big place at Prairie Land. There's all sorts of room for more vendors, and why not add to what you guys can check out. Now, you did bring a sampling of collectibles. You referenced that bull. Talk to me about what else we've got here. These are pretty cool.
Some cool things like this book that came from a library when I was a kid. The school shut down. So
you're supposed to take those back.
Well, I know, but the school shut down. The Saskatoon Gun Club, I came across that emblem that there's one of its kind that I ever found at the club. So I was like, okay, I got to have that. An old ball glove from 42, and my oldest penny is an 1870s British penny.
Wow, so
that's pretty
cool. Now, I love that. Now, of course, there are also firearms. I think last year or 2 years ago, whatever it was, we saw a Civil War era gun. You'll have some unique stuff this year too.
Yes, every year guys bring, and that's the interesting thing about the antique stuff or the guns. There's new stuff and old stuff that you probably haven't seen before, and every year there's a new old thing there.
Yeah, it's amazing how that happens. There's a lot of old stuff out there, and it comes to the show, and you get to have a chance to have a peek at it. And of course, it all goes to support the Saskatoon Gun Club. Tell us briefly about your organization.
So we are a not-for-profit organization. We have competitive and recreational shotgun clay shooting. We're one of the largest clubs in Canada, offering all shooting disciplines, and we have individuals who compete for spots on the Olympics. So it's quite exciting when individuals like that come out to shoot.
It's pretty cool. It will be a hub this weekend at Prairie Land Park. We didn't even ask appraisals. I assume we've got appraisals again coming this year?
Yes, we do, on Saturday from 10 till noon. You can bring your stuff in, and they will a booth will be set up for them to appraise, and they'll tell you what it's worth. It's with a paid admission, and if you can't make that time, bring your stuff in, and someone will be around to help you out.
Perfect. There you go. You want more details? SaskatoonCollectorShow.com.
On Your Morning, thank you for being with us. We begin with King Charles expressing his concern over the threat of Alberta separatism in a meeting with a group of chiefs from the prairies at Buckingham Palace. Kathy Lee has more on the visits and the concern over treaty rights.
Inside Buckingham Palace, a rare private meeting between King Charles and Treaty 6 First Nations leaders of Saskatchewan and Alberta.
It was actually an amazing experience.
Grand Council Chief Joey Peach was one of 7 in the delegation. Speaking from London, he said the meeting reaffirmed the treaty relationship with the Crown and that the King expressed his concern about the growing separatist movement in Alberta.
I said, yes. The province does not care about the treaties or the Crown. Then he said, oh, really, again? He didn't like that. The treaty is law, and it's part of the Constitution. It cannot be broken, and it supersedes any legislation.
For months, Alberta separation supporters have been collecting signatures on a citizen-led petition.
We have taken particular and specific steps to making sure that First Nations and treaty rights are respected.
But Indigenous leaders have filed court challenges against the petition and have pushed back against the movement, urging the Premier to denounce it.
The lands do not belong to Alberta. So when we're talking about separation, and these separatists that would like to leave, that they have absolutely nothing to take.
Ahead of Quebec's 1995 referendum, several Indigenous communities held their own votes and rejected leaving Canada.
Indigenous people had an impact on that. We've started to see some conversation on how Indigenous nations have to be respected and reflected.
For these 7 chiefs, their messages delivered directly to the Crown.
Yes, I do feel he was listening.
And returning to Canada, hopeful about what comes next. Kathy Lee, CTV News, Calgary.
Treaty 6 chiefs didn't just invite King Charles III to this summer's treaty commemoration. They also brought with them works of art, handmade by community members from Treaty 6 territory. Alison Bamford has more on the meaning behind them.
Stitch by stitch, Annika Mid-Swing turns cloth into something with great significance.
It's a representation of cultural identity, it's resilience.
She learned to sew as a teenager, teachings passed down from her mother and grandmother. Her latest piece, a ribbon skirt meant for Queen Camilla. The colors and design symbolize the spirit of Treaty 6.
I'm very appreciative. This is an experience that I never thought I'd be able to experience.
During today's meeting with the King, First Nations chiefs from Saskatchewan and Alberta gifted the royal family a ribbon skirt, moccasins, and a medallion made by local Indigenous artists. Margaret Larocque spent more than 2 weeks beading the medallion meant for the monarch.
That's the highest honorable gift that you can give. It connects who we are.
Each gift guided by cultural practice and tradition, down to the tiniest of details.
Cut this way and you cut around.
Including the birch bark used as the formal invitation to the king, laser etched with writing.
We sort of all decided that due to bark's role throughout the years in transmitting stories and people and ideas, that it would be the perfect medium for an invitation.
Those behind the presents hope to see their work worn by the royals at the Treaty 6 commemoration. Gifts truly fit for a king. Alison Bamford, CTV News, Beardy's and Okamassis, Cree Nation.
Following Nunavut MP Lori Idlout's floor crossing to the Liberal Party, Mark Carney has cemented himself as the Prime Minister who's convinced the most opposition MPs to join the governing party since Jean Chrétien nearly 3 decades ago. Rachel Aiello reports.
4 floor crossings in just over 4 months. First, it was Conservative MP Chris D'Entremont, then Conservative Michael Maw. A third Tory, Matt Genroux, defected last month. And now, New Democrat MP Lori Idlout has joined the Liberal caucus. To see this many parliamentary party switchers between elections is rare. But the Prime Minister and his inner circle say it's tied to the moment in history Canada is facing.
I'm not surprised to see colleagues which are doing soul searching and say, I want to be at the decision table.
The Liberals are also gaining support across the country, recently opening a 13-point polling advantage over the Conservatives.
It shows right now the trajectory is favoring Mark Carney and the Liberals, and they're opening up a significant lead. The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
And while critics accuse Mark Carney of undermining the democratic process, this kind of backroom dealing has always been fair game in our political system, and it may not be over yet.
There are rumors of other Conservatives that might be in play, and I would assume that the government is lavishing those people with attention, trying to make that decision a little bit easier for them.
In order to beat Chrétien's record of poaching 5 PC and NDP MPs during the 36th Parliament, the Prime Minister would need to convince 2 more MPs to cross the floor. And with this Parliament now looking more stable, time may be on Carney's side. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
Closer to home, a Saskatoon synagogue is planning to rebuild its cemetery maintenance shop after it was destroyed by fire. Laura Woodward reports.
Yeah, all of this was where we stored everything, and everything is gone, as you can see.
Only rubble is left of this cemetery maintenance shop. Lawnmowers, snow blowers, and other tools needed to maintain the grounds all gone. On January 21st, the Saskatoon Fire Department responded to a fire at the Congregation Aguda's Israel Cemetery, located on the outskirts of the city west of the airport.
Fire consumed our shop and all the equipment that we use to maintain our cemetery. There was nothing in there that was salvageable.
Replacing the building and equipment is expected to cost about $150,000. Grant Sharfstein says insurance is covering only part of the total. The synagogue has launched a cemetery rebuild fund, which has raised nearly half of its $50,000 goal on GoFundMe.
Being a Jewish community, I know a lot of the people in the community thought was just deliberate, was just an act of anti-Semitism. The adjusters from the insurance company that came out that did the inspection are certain that it wasn't deliberate, which is in some respects good news. It started inside. They're not 100% certain how, but maybe an electric heater or something of that nature.
Just 2 days after the fire, the cemetery needed to host a funeral.
There happened to be a lady in our community who was 109 when she'd passed away. The neighbors pitched in to plow the roads and get everything ready so we could do it because we didn't have any equipment left.
This is Saskatoon's only dedicated Jewish cemetery, serving the community for more than 100 years. The maintenance shop rebuilds is expected to begin in the summer. Laura Woodward, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Now to a key witness in the Epstein investigation. The convicted sex offender's longtime accountant testified before lawmakers yesterday, claiming he was not aware of the things Epstein did to women and girls. Jay O'Brien reports.
This morning, Richard Kahn, who watched over Jeffrey Epstein's money for more than a decade, testifying behind closed doors about the convicted sex offender's complex financial web.
I think everyone in America has questions about how Epstein was able to accumulate so much wealth.
In his opening statement, Kahn telling the committee he was not aware of the terrible and unforgivable things that Epstein did to women and girls, and that he believed Epstein's claims that his arrest in the mid-2000s for sex crimes with a minor was a mistake. The House Oversight Committee pressing Kahn, still a co-executor of Epstein's estate, on how the accused sex trafficker went from math teacher to high-powered money manager for the ultra-wealthy, highlighting several wealthy individuals, most with previously known ties to Epstein, who paid him millions in fees.
Kahn was the fixer. He was the accountant. His name was on the shell companies as the owner of the shell companies. So he helped hide a lot of Jeffrey Epstein's, enterprise. And so we want to know all about it.
But as the committee's investigation keeps expanding, Chairman James Comer saying he hopes it can wrap up in the 10 months left in this Congress. Jay O'Brien, ABC News, Washington.
Canada into the quarterfinals of the World Baseball Classic for the very first time.
He's also walked a couple of times, and he crushes this one deep to right. Abraham Toro doubles the lead for Canada.
Jumped on Cuba early, kept pounding 7-2, an historic win. Canada's never reached the quarterfinals of the WCB until now. After round robin, they finished top of Pool A. That earns them a showdown with who else? The U.S. That can't be good. That's tomorrow night. Yikes. That's not who you want to play in baseball.
Yeah, no, not at all. Let's turn our attention to other news that we don't want to talk about, and that's the weather and what we are seeing in the southwest corner of the province. The number of how much snow we're expecting today has been fluctuating quite a bit this morning. It was at about 5 centimeters of snow for Swift Current when we woke up this morning. Now, then it went down. Now it has gone back up again. So we're going to turn our attention to the radar and satellite. Take a look at this. This shows how it started making its way through the province late last night, continued to impact Swift Current area overnight into early this morning. So Trans-Canada Highway not looking pretty this morning to start your day. This is current on your screen right now. So Swift Current, Regina, down through Estevan, all these areas that are currently seeing some of those flurries this morning. Into the afternoon hour, we do see it pushing away. The last little piece of that is going to be falling through Estevan there. And then just a little blip on the radar there right around Swift Current into the evening hours where we could be seeing some more of those flakes. By 1:30 a.m., Swift Current now expecting to see about 4 centimeters of snow. Areas even farther south than Swift Current could be seeing a little bit more. But take a look at Estevan. That number has really gone up from the last time we looked at it. 11 centimeters of snow is now what we're expecting. About 1 centimeter for Regina and about 2 centimeters more expected for Moose Jaw. Now, with that, we are also seeing winds going up, so keep that in mind. It could be blowing snow, but -2 with that snow for Swift Current this afternoon, -2 for Moose Jaw, 0 degrees for Weyburn, and 1 degree for Estevan, -4 for Yorkton, just seeing that cloud cover this afternoon, -7 for Prince Albert, where we could be seeing a little bit more of that sunshine, and -8 expected for the Battlefords. We talked about the winds going up, and it looks like they've actually gone up even more in the past few minutes on this screen, so now we're seeing more of that red color there. Winds could be surpassing 55 kilometers per hour in all those areas that are lighting up in red. Be prepared for that blowing snow. It's really not going to be the greatest day to be traveling down south. In Regina, we're expecting to see about -4 tomorrow, so similar air temperature compared to today, but the winds will be going down. Mix of sun and cloud tomorrow, -10 on Saturday and -12 on Sunday. Expecting some more flurries on Tuesday in central and southern Saskatchewan, and then the temperature is really going up starting on Wednesday, back up to those positive numbers, so that will be nice to see. In Saskatoon, -10 tomorrow, -13 on Saturday, and -11 on Sunday, so the weekend going to be below the seasonal average. -7 on Monday, some more flurries as mentioned expected on Tuesday, and up to 3 degrees by Wednesday.
Dreaming of an unforgettable adventure? Indulge in the magic of Hong Kong. Enter for a chance to win a trip for two, courtesy of the Hong Kong Tourism Board. The prize includes round-trip flights on Cathay Pacific, 4 luxurious nights at the Park Lane, Hong Kong, $1,000 spending money, and a 3-day pass granting access to over 20 amazing attractions. Enter online at ctvregina.ca or ctvsaskatoon.ca. Scan the QR code on your screen, and good luck.
Saskatoon's professional basketball team has a brand new head coach as they get set to kick off the 2026 season. I am joined now by the new bench boss of the Saskatoon Mamba, Isaiah Fox. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. How you doing? Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for coming on. A lot of buzz around this team with a rebrand and kind of a reboot of everything going on. So, Mr. Fox, you've got 3 NBA G League Showcase and League championships to your name. Seems like you might be just the guy to bring this franchise back to its championship roots.
Well, I certainly hope so. It's been great meeting with management, getting to know the team, getting to know and them telling me about the city and the great history there. You know, I certainly have been a part of some great teams, especially referencing the G League, and a part of that has been the development of really good players. So I really hope to bring an attitude, a sense of urgency, a sense of development to the team, to the program, and be a part of what, you know, Jason's vision is of this team.
Are you familiar with the CEBL? Are there differences between what you're used to in the NBA and then what the CEBL offers that you're interested in?
Yeah, absolutely. There is a style of play that is somewhat similar in terms of pace. A lot of the players in this league basically come from the G League and other leagues overseas that are very similar in the style of play. But what the CEBL offers is this execution, particularly at the end of games, how they execute the target ending. I think it's going to be a challenge, and it's going to be fun to see how we can layer up our execution and get guys in our right spots in terms of how we finish games. It's also a good challenge in terms of just development purely. It seems to be a sprint. A lot of the games are spaced out, but once you get going, it seems like it's a highly paced season.
No, it is. Very, very exciting to watch. Now, you are the guy who gets to lead this team into a new era. You know, the reboot and the image. I wore my Mamba pink tie for the occasion. And you are kind of a development guy. Do you think that is kind of why they chose you to kind of mold this team and get it on track?
Yeah, that certainly was a part of it. And listen, my experience has been a part of it, especially my experience in development. And as the league grows and as it attracts more American players, particularly from the G League, I think it was a good alignment in where the league is going, what the Mamba's trying to do in the rebrand, and certainly where I'm trying to go personally as a coach.
All right. Well, it all starts the season May 14th. SaskatoonMamba.ca for details and for tickets. Head coach Isaiah Fox, thank you for coming on. We look forward to meeting you in person in a couple of weeks' time and get this season underway.
Thank you for having me. I look forward to it too. Can't wait.
Coming up on spring break in a lot of areas, and that means packing, which is one of the worst human experiences. I think you probably know that. Lori Bergamato comes up with a clear-cut way to simplify all that packing.
This is the best piece of packing advice that you will ever receive.
It's the viral trick that promises to keep your luggage light.
Okay, let's play packing Sudoku.
The technique being called the Sudoku packing method.
Obviously, one outfit for each column and one outfit for each row. But this is where it gets really interesting and really fun, because bottoms, top, outerwear, bottoms, top, outerwear, bottoms, top, outerwear.
It works just like the popular number puzzle, a 3x3 grid system for 9 core items, 3 tops, 3 bottoms, and 3 layers. That creates 27 outfit combinations, perfect for carry-on travel.
Every top goes with every bottom and every layer.
Travel creator Natalie Shakur, who lives in Boston, is behind the viral packing post. Her original video surpassing 4.5 million views.
I think people were waiting for something like this. Women have too many choices to make through the day, through the week, and they do not need to be making choices when they're on vacation. And I think as soon as you see the simplicity of this, it just resonated.
And many travelers say this suitcase scenario works.
There's just so many different options, varying degrees of weather and niceness.
You can mix and match your outfits by taking the rows and the columns and also one diagonal way.
But is it a fit for every getaway?
If you're going hiking or something like that, or if you're somebody that just wants to be completely flamboyant, obviously these are 9 pieces of clothing and you can have pattern and color, but you can't have 9 completely disparate pieces of clothing in it. So I think if you're somebody that wants that sort of thing when you're traveling, this won't be for you, but I would say for the majority of men and women, this can really work well.
The final batch of presenters for Sunday night's Oscars have been announced. Former Oscars host Jimmy Kimmel is on the list, along with nominees Rose Byrne and Delroy Lindo. The Oscars air live on ABC March 15th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and stream live on Hulu. As for next year's awards, the 2027 Golden Globes are set for January 10th, and Nikki Glazer will return to host for a 3rd time. Glazer's latest comedy special, Good Girl, premieres on Hulu on April 24th. Hulu is owned by Disney, the parent company of ABC News.
I could tell within 2 minutes of meeting you, you're not just some boy band guy. And you are too good for that wedding band.
Nick Jonas and Paul Rudd throw down in the new trailer for the upcoming musical dramedy, Power Ballad. In it, the Jonas brother, playing a boy band star, steals a song from a wedding singer, played by Rudd, and uses it to revive his career. The movie's in theaters June 5th.
You got a friend.
And happy birthday to Rock and Roll Hall of Famer James Taylor. He's 78 today. That's what's happening in Hollywood. Jacqueline Lee, ABC News.
Kindness was definitely the guide for one high school English teacher who challenged each of her students to put a little love in your heart.
Yeah, and as we inspire and highlight inspiring women during Women's History Month, we're shining that spotlight once again on a teacher who started a movement that was all about the $20 bill. Here's ABC's Danny New.
What did you do when I gave you the $20?
You may recall our story last year with English teacher Christina Ulmer and her tradition called the $20 Kindness Challenge.
Usually the first week or so, they'll say, are we doing your kindness thing?
Christina has become famous around Horsham, Pennsylvania for, twice a year, giving all of her high school students a crisp $20 bill with a simple assignment. Do something kind with it.
I donated toys to Glad Dogs Nation.
Over the years, students have used that money to bake cookies for nursing homes or pass out flowers to strangers. Whatever they choose, each act also honors Christina's sister, Kate, who tragically passed away in a car accident in 2014. Christina used the cash from Kate's purse to fund the first challenge a few years later.
Like I can just see her there doing the things that my students are doing. So it does make me think about her a lot more.
And now we have an update on that mission to honor Kate and spread her generous spirit.
Oh, after the piece aired, then the donations went up like crazy.
After our story aired, Christina says donations skyrocketed, and she started receiving letters from around the country with gifts or just notes of appreciation. In fact, a few months ago, Christina officially got the $20 Kindness Challenge registered as a nonprofit, which apparently...
Do you know that was your idea?
That was my idea?
You're the first person who were like, maybe you could help other teachers. So I was like, maybe I could. That's actually an interesting idea.
Now with the challenges, increased influence and resources.
So grateful to have Christina's challenge.
Christina has inspired teachers in other states to try this with their students, like Amy in Delaware.
Christina, I cannot thank you enough.
And this coming April, for the first time, Christina will be funding another class. Fittingly, it'll be with Siri in New Jersey, who was Christina's typing teacher in middle school.
That feels pretty amazing to be able to give back to her.
There are also resources on the foundation's website to help people with starting their own $20 Kindness Challenge. And Christina says she has personally guided both schools and churches across the country throughout the past year. In New York, for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
Look at that, Danny inspiring some change.
Yeah, I like that.
Like $20 worth of change at a time. grade 4 student in Barrie, Ontario has come up with a new idea that's now available in stores. Tristan Hollowell was just doing schoolwork. They were asked to come up with an idea and pitch it to a local business. Well, Giant Tiger was hooked on the idea and immediately got the wheels in motion to start selling the t-shirt that he made. 100% of the profits will go back to the school. There it is. It's like a cowboy goldfish thing.
I like it.
Neat.
All right, yes. Nice.
It's creative.
Decent enough.
I guess we all have to make a trip down to Giant Tiger.
There you go. At least it goes to the support the school.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a good
all
cause.
right. Well, this is one of those rare instances when skipping school is actually encouraged.
Just having fun with your friends. They have like lots of my favorite colors on them.
This was Hooky Day for students from 135 schools in Alberta. Instead of school, they got a chance to watch the Edmonton Oil Kings game. For many of the children, this was their first time seeing a game inside of Rogers Place, home of the Oilers, of course. The Oil Kings put on a show, winning 6-1 over the Wild. This was the 16th Hooky Day in Alberta.
They have similar events here. Regina, I know, has a game where they just sell out to kids, and it is loud.
Yeah.
It is the middle of afternoon, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It is the loudest game of the season, I think.
Well, I'm thinking 16th Hooky Day in Alberta. I grew up in Alberta. Why didn't I get Hooky Day?
Oh, because you went to school there 17 years ago.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, I just did I just did that one. For fans of the bit, keep an eye out for this device on the next episode.
To be able to have our product on there is really, really cool. It's something I'm very proud of. I think our whole team is really excited about.
Just giving people what they want. More Kaylee.
Yeah, more me. Dr. Kevin Spencer from Dartmouth General is the co-founder of the Ring Rescue. The device is used to safely remove rings that have become stuck on fingers.
There's a real life solution.
Yeah, it's become a common tool at emergency departments across North America.
Well, I have 3 rings. I have 2 that are rubber, and then I have my real ring. My real ring, if I wore that in sports and I broke, they have to cut it off of you with some.
Yeah.
It's tungsten.
You almost had to cut this off me when I was pregnant. You almost had to cut this ring off me.
Lots of butter to get that baby off. Time out. We're back tomorrow. See you then.